Think about this.
Peace, folks, and I'm back. Hopefully, shit is working now. I have no idea what happened. I mean, shit is crazy. Had to start a new stream and all that. So what I got to do now, I got to send all the brothers, because brothers was writing me in my email. They said they was trying to get in. They said, but the link wasn't taking them anywhere. So it was some bullshit going on with the whole system, y'all. I checked my email and I'm got notices in there from brothers saying, man, that shit ain't taking us nowhere, man. So what I have to do now is I have to send all the brothers the link again. And I think it's fixed. Can y'all hear me now? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me, let me know. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mail a link out again. Don't worry, brother Game Changer, if you're still out there watching. I'm just going to send the link back to everybody again. I don't know what the hell happened. I mean, some old bullshit. Some old bullshit, y'all, took place just now. Don't know what it was. I have to resend shit out again. My man Corey Haywood, he wrote me. He's like, yo, X, man, shit ain't taking me nowhere. Go ahead and hit him with it. Like that. Hold your horses, everybody. Hold your horses, everybody. I am sending it out. I am sending it out. I am sending it. Yeah, man, I hate when this kind of shit happens, man. I don't know what the hell happened, y'all. I have no idea what happened. I absolutely positively have no idea what happened, y'all. I really, really don't. I have no idea what happened. People can't get into my hangout. Some old bullshit took place. Brothers can't get in. Why? Always some old BS taking place every time I turn around. So try that new link that I'm sending out to everybody, y'all. Hopefully that works. Corey, if you're watching, go ahead, try that new link. Hopefully that works. Plus, you know, type crazy. The way that went down, couldn't hear anything. Can y'all hear me now? Let me know if y'all can hear me out there, man. Make sure these sounds and shit is right up in here. Can y'all hear me? So I got all my sounds and shit right now. Make sure everything is doing what it's supposed to do. Okay. Let me see who in here. Who's in here that I can email right quick? See if they can come on. Okay. Y'all can hear me. Do I have y'all emails? Do I have any one of y'all emails that's in the chat right now? Because if I do, I'm going to email you. I just want you to hop on so I can check my sound. So when the brothers start to file in here, shit ain't ridiculous. Do I have any of y'all emails? I don't think I do. I don't think I have any of y'all emails. Do I? Let's see what's going on with. See what's going on with my bros. Okay. My computers are moving incredibly slow, y'all. I don't know if something's going on with my internet or not. I don't know what's happening. I mean, we have been getting a lot of rain. I mean, we've been getting a lot of rain lately, man. It's like the past 2 months has just been like unbelievable, y'all. It's been insane. It won't stop raining. Hangouts go to acting funky. Okay. There's Cory. Okay, Cory, I just sent it, man. So go ahead and hit that, brother. If you're watching. Let's see if he jump on or not. Cory,
Yo, what's going on? What's
what's
going on?
good, man?
Hey,
I
man.
had to
You know,
rearrange everything, man, because damn, I couldn't hear, man. Something's going on my mix board. I had to start a new damn show and the whole nine. Just a mess.
it's
What's
all
good?
good, man.
What's good with you, brother?
Just taking things a day at a time, man.
Okay.
Taking things a day at a time.
Let me ask
How
the
about you?
folks. Let me ask the folks. Can they hear you? Can y'all hear Cory? Can y'all hear Brother Haywood out there? 'Cause we've been having some damn sound problems. Can y'all hear Brother Haywood? Put a one in the chat if you can hear Brother Haywood. Ain't nobody saying nothing. God damn
Ain't nobody saying nothing.
it. No, no one saying anything. Please put a one in the comment section if you can hear Brother Haywood. Okay, they can hear you, Brother Haywood. All right.
Cool, cool.
All right. It's been a while, brother, since we
Yeah,
chopped
it's
it
been
up.
a while.
Been a
Few
minute.
months.
Yeah,
Few
been a
months.
minute. Been
Yeah.
a minute. I know those of you who know Brother Haywood. He is the oh so volatile brother from the West Coast. Um, he's my bro. Uh, he's the man everybody loves to hate. but
I
I
would. Yeah.
but I got a lot of
Say so.
love for this brother, and he's back. So let me ask you, man, what do you think about black male political correctness? Because you know our political correctness is different from everybody else's. So what
Yeah.
do you think about it?
I think. One second. Hey, okay. Perfect. I think. It's funny when you say that. It reminds me of Terry Crews, and he is a prime example of how I would say, and I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we have been over the years, black men, our voices have changed to accommodate the sensibilities of other people, and it's because I still think generally people view black men as threatening and as menacing, right? So we've had to deliberately and sort of, I would say strategically, right, use our voices to make people feel more comfortable around us, especially in the political realm. And I mentioned Terry Crews because, you know, this brother, although I respect what he's been able to accomplish over the years, to me it seems like he is changing to meet the expectations and the standards and the requirements of Hollywood and of his peers and of his contemporaries. And black men, what we tend to do is we sacrifice our own manhood, we sacrifice our own machismo, if you will, right? To be accepted by other people, specifically white people. And that is a problem for me, man. I feel like, you know, especially now in today's age, with the climate politically really is so, I would say, intense. It behooves black men to speak our minds because if we don't, we're going to get lost in the shuffle. In my opinion, I think we've been replaced by other minority groups. They've gained far more power than they have before. And I think black men in particular, we've even fallen behind black women, quite honestly. in terms of power and in terms of how influential our voices can be, we fall behind black women, we fall behind gay people, we fall behind Latinos, we fall behind everybody. And it's
True.
because we're too afraid to say how we fucking feel. And that needs to change, man. Because regardless of how you speak, I don't care if you carry yourself like Carlton Banks from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You are still going to be a black man in America. No matter how you dress, no matter how you carry yourself, no matter how you speak, people will still be afraid of you because you are a black man. So if people are going to be afraid of you anyway, give them something to be afraid about.
But
That's how I feel.
isn't that all part of the political correctness piece though? We gotta, talk a certain way and act a certain way around white folks if we wanna achieve a certain amount of success, or we want to avoid, offending them, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, isn't that all part of it?
It's absolutely part of it. And I think the I guess the question that we have to ask ourselves is simply this: do we want to continue shucking and jiving, if you will? I know it's colloquial and that's kind of a cliche, but do we want to continue tap dancing for the quote unquote powers that be? Or do we actually want to take some power ourselves and do something with it to uplift ourselves and our communities? That's what we should be concerned about. Because as long as we play the game, we'll always be comfortable. We'll always be taken care of in terms of having a job and a home, building a family. Like, that's not difficult to do in America. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? Black, white, or green. If you work hard enough, you can at least build a stable life for yourself and your family. But in terms of actually progressing and advancing, right? The only way that happens is if black men, black people in general, man, if we have to take more initiative, we have to be more assertive, we have to be more aggressive, we have to be more confident, not only in ourselves, man, you know, but in future generations so that we can continue to evolve and grow. Otherwise, man, we're going to continue to fall lower and lower on that totem pole.
And we've been joined by my brother Jay Sean. What's good, brother Jay Sean? Is he there, brother
What's
Jay
good, brother?
Sean? Hey, what's good, man? I had some sound, some audio problems, man. So I had to
Yeah, I saw
stop the
that, man.
stream, start all over. You know how it is. But
Yeah, it's all good, man. But we here. We here.
yeah. So let me ask you, because you're a professional brother as well.
Hmm?
Do you believe that often as black men that we spend a lot of our time when we interact with other people, we spend a lot of our time trying to be politically correct?
Well, first of all, what's up, Corey? What's going on? Good to see you, brother.
What's going on, man? How you doing, man?
And that's a tough one because most of the time, man, brothers don't participate in politics at all. It's like we're not even, you know, allowed to be, black men. And when we do show up politically, we know we doing what you call code switching. We are trying to please other people. Try to say the right thing in front of white people, make them feel a certain way. And now we've been groomed for the last 30 years to make sure we don't say nothing to piss off our women. You know what I mean? Black women. So we got to tailor our conversation to please not just white folks but black women. Let's be clear. Like when the Democratic Party talks about black people, they're talking about black women. They're not talking about black men. You know what I mean? We they've become our leaders, if you will, politically in this country, and it's really a sad state of affairs when we see here at Black History Month, and everybody's passing around all this historical, images and videos from the '60s and all that, and all you saw was these black men, with these different movements. So the question is, what are we going to do about it? We're going to keep sitting back and letting the Democratic Party elevate black women and put their voices ahead of ours and their agenda ahead of ours, where they running around here talking crazy about how, we giving unsolicited opinions. You know what I'm saying? This is the level of disrespect that we getting as black men. We can't even write op-eds in newspapers as millionaires. Luke Campbell's a millionaire. Since when can a millionaire in this country not write an op-ed in a newspaper and give his opinion on a political situation? Black women are so bold where they can just come out publicly and just disrespect the black man. And I'm gonna tell you what's really deep about what happened with the Simone Sanders situation and Luke Campbell. She specifically says if black men, she can say Luke Campbell. She said black men. So one black man giving his opinion on Kamala Harris became all black men. That should give you a snapshot or an insight to the psyche of a lot of our sisters in the political sphere. All right. So when we talk about the April Ryans and the Angela Rye's and the Joy Reids and all that, they don't give a fuck what a black man got to say. And when you look at TV, all you see is, when you do see a black man on TV, it's a homosexual black man. You know what I mean? So we got to be really serious about being, strong black men again, and just saying, what we feel, standing up for ourselves, standing up for our race, and calling it how we see it, man. And don't apologize for it no more.
Well, we've been joined by my brother Nagone in the house. What's good, brother Nagone?
What's up, baby? Yo,
Go.
what's going on, Jay Shine? Yo, you spitting pure truth right there. Pure truth. Bottom line is, I just wanted to just chime in, man. Really on that point, we have
Pull
to
the trigger.
talk. We have to talk about that media piece and how we are not controlling our own narrative. The fact that these black women, or you could say that black women are running this thing politically, and we don't have any say. There's no counterpoints, and other people are trying to shape our narrative, and you can't criticize a black woman candidate because if you do, all of a sudden it's you're going against the race and all this kind of this shit. Pardon the expression, but this shit's crazy, and we are sitting here neutered almost in this without a voice, and a lot of that is kind of on us because we have not, put forth a medium to really express ourselves out here, especially politically. Black women are not running this thing politically. They're not. Okay, black men are going to play a very key role. But the bottom line, very simply, is there's an interest with respect to the Democratic Party to kind of to push certain narratives and to control the vote in a certain way, as to where they can guarantee that women will come, that women will be with the party and black men will have to just kind of traipse along. And that's a way of controlling us from a standpoint of us not really being able to really make demands the way we need to make demands politically as well. We're going to sit back here in this election and get involved. We should be making certain types of demands and asking for certain things. And the fact that you want to lay this on the women undermines that. So there's a lot of things here that the majority population and power uses as a control mechanism to control our vote, to make us do whatever we want. Hillary Clinton sat back here and said, the black women are my basically my shield or my curtain or whatever she said, and that was something she could always count on and say, well, I don't care what it is. I'll just come out here and say whatever, do whatever. These black women will come out and vote for me. Black men are not, we're not thinking this way. We're going to be a bit more independent in our thinking. So a big part of our power perspective and control of our vote is going to be with us. And they don't want it, and they don't want that to be known. They don't want that to be heard. So they're going to just lay it on the women. It's a dangerous game. It's not good for us, and we have to literally jump out here and speak out against it. So, Jay Shine, I have to say, Jay, I'm checking you out, bro. You making a real strong point here. I mean, a lot of us do see this, but the way you express it is right on the money. This is pretty serious, and we have to address this. We have to address this because that's a big part of our common interest piece that we want to talk about, and that's something that they're trying to undercut. Both parties, okay, Republican and Democrat. Though the Republicans are playing a rather funky game now, talking about the ADOS piece, and you got this Candace Owens, and you got this other skinny ass white broad out here, Ann Coulter.
We was talking about her last night.
You're trying to front run on this and use this as a fracturing point to kind of keep
Yeah.
The vote, the black vote tree broke up because they perceived that we're going to be a bit more on top of things for the 2020 election as opposed to what went on 2016. So they're going to really try to play things a little differently and kind of scam us a little bit. Keep us off balance. You have
Right.
to watch this closely.
Yeah, me and I was on Underrated Darkness. He had a stream last night, and last night for me, yesterday afternoon for them. And we were talking. I brung that up with the Ann Coulter, how she was gaslighting. She was on a panel on ABC. There was a bunch of Democratic strategists on there, and she was the only quote unquote conservative on the panel. And she brung that up. She kind of, out of nowhere, just crowbarred how the Democratic Party is pushing black people aside, and just giving all their privileges and all the benefits to immigration folks, people who are not even citizens. And then she even went further and went into how black people are old because they went through slavery and Jim Crow. And I'm like, I know this woman's a racist, right? But she's sitting here gaslighting, and she's setting the Democratic strategists up for a fall, and they fell right into it because they completely dismissed black people on live TV and talked about how immigrants don't have this and immigrants don't have that. And I was like, the Democratic Party is a bunch of idiots, but they're really showing their true colors, though. They're showing their true colors.
They've always been that way. They want to just use the black vote as just a block vote for them, and
exactly.
they're supposed not to give you. We're not supposed to get anything. Just vote for them and hope for the best. And we're talking a slightly different narrative in this election, and the Democratic Party is out there looking very looking weak on this. And the Republicans know it, and they're trying to play it. So
we see what's going on.
We have to be sophisticated in this election, and we need to really galvanize our vote and really ask for quite a bit. We need to really start to play that game. This is something that they are trying not to get you to talk about.
Yeah, and you know what? We can't fall into this trap neither. Where
so people game politically,
we can't fall into this trap neither. Where we got to pick the lesser of two evils neither. You know what I mean? If our agenda as black men is not being met by either party, then we need to step away. Period. You know what I mean? And that's just the end of it. Because I'm not worried about, whether to me they both white supremacists. I don't care if a racist like Trump is in office. I don't care. You know why? Because is he the worst racist president we ever had? We had slave owners as presidents. You know what I'm saying? So when you put it in context, we survived through a lot of quote unquote racist governments. We had governments where there were no black people in government. We had times in this country where there were no black secretaries of state and no black people working as officials in the State Department or the DOD. You see what I'm saying? And we survived through that. So we're not in that situation. We're in a better situation now as black people overall. So I think right now we need to be very, very stingy, if you will.
Well, this is my thing. A lot of people saying that. Well, let's see what's happening right now politically. We're looking at a lot of things that are going on. They're stacking the Supreme Court against you and all this. And they're talking all that because we did not participate in the vote last time around. I don't think it's ever a good idea for us to stay out of the voting process because that means that we're not in a position to win anything. So we have to be politically sophisticated.
So you're saying we need to be counted, okay?
And we have to be involved. What we have to be is politically savvy. We have to be educated with our vote, and we are going to have to really vote in such a way where we make these people pay for not basically giving us what we want, okay? And it's not so much giving what we want, it's we have to vote for that. And we have to be more sophisticated. We have to put up candidates. We have to get involved economically in the system with respect to sponsoring candidates and so forth. There's a lot that we have to do. But first is we do have to have political participation, and we have to be knowledgeable. And we just can't give our vote away or take it for granted. They take the black female vote for granted. They're going to vote Democrat. They're going to vote against Trump, and this is what's going to happen. So, and they want to make sure that the black men we are now talking a lot more about some different things than just supporting whatever, let's say, black women do. It's like, oh, there's a fracture here. So how are we going to play this to keep that vote from being from it being used as as an anvil or as a hammer against us. So I'm just saying, I'm just laying out what we have to do politically to be a bit more successful here in this country.
No, don't get me wrong, Nagone. I'm not saying that we don't vote.
And
You know what I mean?
I mean, we didn't vote. We didn't vote in the last general election at the level that we did in the one previous.
Yeah, right? For Brock, I got
you. We did vote in the midterms. You know, more. We did see some results. You know, we did see the Congress and stuff kind of change a bit. So you know, if we're really going to vote right now, we got to vote our interest, and we have to vote in large numbers and really play a big role, more so than anything else, play a huge role on the local political scene.
Right.
All politics is local. It's be very important that we do vote in our local elections and so forth very aggressively. And control the state houses, control our city councils and these types of things, which will play bigger
and those politicians powerful. Are more accessible.
I would say and it would play much more a bigger scene on the national stage. So we have to be somewhat, we got to be much more sophisticated. And some of this talk of not voting and all this that I hear some people saying, very stupid. But our media has to play a very key role in talking about what's really going on, as opposed to keeping the black woman is holding up our vote, which is a crock of shit. But anyway, I'll just leave it at that. All right, you guys go ahead.
Yeah, well, we've been joined by my man Secrets of War. What's good, War Secrets?
Hey, thanks for having me. How you doing, panel?
War Secrets, what's going on, bro? How are you?
Give us your take. Give us your take on political correctness, brother War.
Well, I think political correctness, it does bring on, I would say, in my opinion, it makes a lot of black folks comfortable instead of getting that hardcore truth right in front of them. And in front of you, you move differently. You expect what people are going to give you, and you're not going to sit back and wait for somebody to give you what you want to hear. And when you get what you want to hear, you go to sleep and you don't stay focused. That's what I think.
Well, do you think that we as black people, are we more susceptible to the quote unquote political correctness than others because of who we are as a people, because of who we are as a society? Are we more apt to gravitate towards the whole political correctness piece because a lot of us, we talk about this all the time. We got this entitlement mind state, and we kind of have this herd mentality. Do you brothers think that we are more likely to kind of take on the whole political correctness mantra as opposed to other groups?
Well, like I said, I just think that a lot of us don't like hearing the truth sometimes. And when you get those political correct folks in front of you, they're going to say what you want to hear. And that's what the Democrat Party has been doing for the past 30 years. They've been telling black Americans what we want to hear. And it's like, nobody wants to hurt our feelings. Like, put your feelings to the side. Fuck your feelings. But it's like, black folks, we want people to lie to us. It's like that boiling frog analogy. When you boil a frog slowly, and then before you know it, you can't get out the pot. So I think if more black folks had Donald Trump in front of us, telling them how they feel about you, it'll keep you on point. All the black folks before the 50s were on point because they knew how those white folks felt. But now we got Democrats lying to us in the 70s, telling us political correct shit. And black folks been asleep. I mean, that's how I look at it.
So is political correctness for black folks, is that black folks just straight being lied to? Is that us, embracing this whole fairy tale that we being told by, Democrats and other people who try not to, quote unquote, hurt black folks' feelings? Is that what political correctness means for black people, to not have our feelings hurt, even if it means telling us bald-faced lies. Is that what that means? Anybody? Anybody can go if they want. Anybody want to answer that, they can. Anybody? Bueller.
Hey man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get back to you. I'm gonna get back to you in 1 second. I'm gonna just give me 1 second. Give me 1 minute.
Well, let me go. I'll go to because everybody else seemed to be doing something else. I'll go to Cory, brother Haywood. Brother Haywood, you there? He's gone too. What the hell?
I'm back.
Oh, okay.
I went to get some water. I'm sorry.
Well,
I had to get my throat right. You know.
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what
I heard a little bit because I walked away. I had to put the headphones down. So, what was your question?
Well, do you believe? Well, I'm actually piggybacking off of what Brother War said.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that as Black folks, political correctness to us means, you don't hurt our feelings, you don't offend us? So, are we more likely to gravitate towards, political correctness? Like, the Democrats, instead of telling many of us the truth, they lied to us, I guess, so they can get our votes. Are we more likely to embrace that, even if we're being told these fantasies and bold-faced lies? Is that what it is to be to deal with political correctness as Black folks?
I think political correctness with us is just being lazy. You know what I mean? We know to get things the way we really want, we got to do a lot of hard work, and we don't want to work hard no more. You know what I mean? Just be honest about it. More shit given to us, and political correctness today is used just to control us, and that's why they have people they pay to quote unquote be the gatekeepers and the spokespersons for Black people out here. You know what I mean? These people we look at on TV, these are paid, professionals to go out here and create the narrative and create the things that we can talk about or the things we're supposed to talk about, and make sure we don't say the things that white people don't want to hear. So when we say political correctness, it's really us being controlled by certain individuals in the political sphere that are controlling the narrative for us, and then we just adhere to it. You know what I mean? Once you create that narrative and that construct, then it's about towing the line. Going back to Black men, we really don't have a voice in either party. If you want to have a voice in either party, you got to quote unquote toe the line. So if you want to be, in the conservative circles, you got to toe that line. You got to talk about small government, low taxes, and gun rights, and then maybe you can bring up something that matters to you. If you want to bring up something in the Democratic Party, you got to talk about, homophobic bullshit, and when a woman's right to choose, and and poor immigrants, and then maybe you can bring up some shit that matters to you. So you got to toe the line because the narrative's already been drawn out. So when you talk about political correctness, you talk about keeping up, that facade, just so you can get along. Political correctness right now is the latest version of going along to get along. That's all it is. All right. So we as Black men got to say fuck all that, because we got nothing to lose. We're not benefiting from neither party, really. There's things that conservatives do that do benefit us from time to time, and there's some things that the Democratic Party does that benefits us, but it's always through osmosis. It's not direct. It's not like, here's a set aside for you, Black man. Here, this is what you get. Be concerned about you and making sure that you good. That's not how it works. We get shit through osmosis. We get crumbs off the table, if you will. So, I know Obsidian is always talking about cuts, and I would say, yo, man, I'm down for the cuts, man. I wish they would stop subsidizing this fuckery out here. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, once they make the cuts, what are we going to do as Black men to step in to lead? You know what I'm saying? In that void. How do we do that? That means we got to be political. We got to get our paper together. We got to start working together as Black men. We got to start creating a code of conduct. You know what I mean? And amongst ourselves. So, once the cuts are in place and that welfare system fall apart, and hopefully we can get some rights in the courts as fathers, and all that shit falls apart. Say that falls apart tomorrow. What are we going to do as Black men to fill the void and come in and lead? Are we prepared to do that? Do we have the right culture right now to step in and do that as men? Because right now I see a bunch of simps out here I see a bunch of bitch ass motherfuckers out here running around, just running their mouths, but they don't have the heart to really do anything. They don't have the focus or the discipline to really get work done. You know, so I'm sorry.
I agree. I do see a lot of, but I do see brothers that are making moves. I ran across a rather interesting YouTube channel just recently, a guy by the name of Pastor Dowell, and here's a black man created his own culture. Basically, yeah, running his own shit. A black man. Hey, bro, brothers ain't doing nothing. Here's a brother who got his own shit going. All right, he got his basically his own community, building his own houses. Men stand up for themselves. Women are calling them men sir and everything else like that.
Is that the pastor that drinks beer? Is that the pastor that drinks beer?
Pastor Dowell? I haven't seen him drinking the beer. I just came across it, so I don't know if he. I don't know if he's drinking. But no, this brother he's got his game right. Got the property game down. Got brothers working. They out there in Tennessee with their own community. They strap like a
motherfucker, boy.
They strap like bamboo out there. You ain't rolling up on them. You got these fucking shines running around here talking all kind of shit and say what black men can't do. But you hear a lot. But these niggas talking. You just hear a lot of niggas talking crazy, but they ain't about nothing. But you got brothers who were doing it. So I ain't buying all that.
And that's what I mean. That's what I mean. There's a lot of dudes just, you know what I mean? I don't know if they ready.
Just let me finish up. There are brothers out here that are doing it. I think the key of it is that we just have to let us know what we're doing. And not a lot of us know what we're doing. A lot of us are doing a lot. But that needs to be out there more. That's where our media, one of the biggest problems I see right now is that megaphone. Okay, is that media megaphone that we have, and that's not being used as efficiently. I'm even looking here at this manosphere, and I'm looking at certain things that are being talked about. We're not using that right now. We got a bunch of nuts running around, acting crazy on it, just running around, screaming, acting all fucking insane. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Let's utilize this medium as a way to, as that megaphone as well. And I see with our own black male fuckery, I'm gonna call some of this out. We got a lot of black male fuckery as well. And we're using that and that's a problem. We gotta cut that back to the fat meat because it is adversely affecting us as well. Yeah. So if we're gonna use this megaphone, let's use it properly. Let's put it together and use it properly. We do have brothers that are out here making moves a lot more than this information's not out, and the megaphone that we have is being misused. And we have to sit back and talk about that as well. I'm sorry, I got to put that seriously down on the table.
I gotta agree with you on that, brother Nagone, because there's a lot of brothers on this media shit, and you would think that as black men, okay. Now I don't expect us to be monolithic in thought, ways, or actions. I don't expect that. But what I do expect is that we should at least have a, when you talk about political correctness, there should be at least some degree of black man political correctness amongst the brothers. And sometimes you don't see that. Sometimes you see bullshit. You see people, man, who are somewhat downright disrespectful. Some people are just downright disrespectful. Forget all the other correctness and everything else. Some people are just downright disrespectful. Not only are they disrespectful, they out of pocket. You understand? Some people are out of pocket. And I think that when you have a culture where that's okay, where that being out of pocket is okay, and people actually co-sign the bullshit, I think that that's a problem too, because we don't have a problem. We don't have a problem checking brothers when brothers, do some old crazy shit. But I think that we can't, we can't put limits on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all bullshit need to be checked, not just some of it. You know what I'm saying? All of it, because that's what we expect to happen on the other side of the aisle. You understand? That's what we expect to happen. So, I mean, as brothers, at the very least, man, we need to have, some degree of, respect amongst us. And oftentimes, you see that that's lacking. And I think that that's a goddamn shame, to be honest. Go ahead, brother.
I was just going to say, we're misusing some of what we have right now. We have to think about that. We got to look at this very carefully. We got a lot of things we got to get together amongst ourselves. But this media is very important. putting the real message out there is very critical. And us turning into world star hip hop and all this kind of stuff like that this is not the way. This is not the way we need to be going. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead, brother Shine. Go ahead.
No, I agree with everything you said. That's having an opportunity right now just to give our voice. This is new. This is new for black men. I mean, I swear to God, man, we got grandfathers out here that wish they had the megaphone that we have right now. The ability to come out here and just do what we're doing right now. Get together as grown black men from all over the place, from all over the country, and just talk and chop it up and throw our ideas out there. And what it does is it helps to, formulate a consolidation of information and also black male thought. We see what we align with, we see what we agree on, and we see what we disagree about. You know what I mean? So when you have this dialogue between black men, I think it's always healthy. You know what I mean? Like again, yesterday I was on JT stream, Underrated Darkness, and two good brothers, man, got into it. And me and JT just stepped back because I'm not going to intervene when two brothers are arguing or debating. And it was not really an argument; it was a debate. These are not brothers who hate each other; they just conveniently disagreed on something. And I stepped back because one, it's between those two, and I want to see these two grown ass men have a conversation. And two, it could be something positive that comes out of it. You know what I mean? Steel sharpens steel. And so when we talk about politics, what do we bring into the political sphere? You know what I mean? I think the black manosphere, we've all agreed that black female fuckery needs to be addressed. You know what I mean? We all agree that black men need to start getting out here, getting their paper. So when we talk about getting our paper, what does that mean? When we come to the political sphere, we're looking for subsidies. We're looking for the same thing white people are looking for. We're looking for, financial opportunity. We're looking for maybe tax cuts, tax holidays, whatever we can do to get businesses up and running, the same way white people do. So it's all connected. When we sit here and have these conversations together as men, as it develops into a political movement for black men, these are the things we're going to be asking for when we come to the table. Because right now, we're not really at the table. We're just not. Our black woman's been put there at the table to represent us. And, that's some shit we really have to deal with. We have to address that shit. All right? Because it's one thing if she was there doing right, but she's not there doing right. She's only looking out for women. And I'll give you an example, and I'm telling on myself. I was watching Roland Martin yesterday, his live stream. Don't ask me why I was watching it, but I was just watching it. And this chick, Monique Presley, they were talking about Bernie Sanders announcing his presidential campaign. And, Monique Presley sat there and said, straight up and down, black women are not going to vote for him. Not black people, black women. So black women have basically, in their own way, have separated themselves from black men politically. They're only doing what matters for them, not what matters for their children, not what matters for the community, only what matters for them. Can they get them some jobs? Cool, we in. Can they get them some handouts? Cool, we in. Can they get them some social pats on the head? Because a lot of times that's all black women get, social pats on the head. Black women need to be protected, and somebody talking that way is good enough for black women. They're not getting anything tangible. Just getting a social pat on the head is good enough for sisters. And this is what we got going on. Has been going on for the last 20-something years, and we gotta come back to the forefront again. If you look at history and you look at the archives in the 50s and 60s, black men are on those tapes. Black men were leading. So what the fuck has happened?
Well, the bottom line is a lack of really strong political organization. All right, and what I'm talking about, a lack of good, strong political organization at the grassroots level. All right, and not only that, we are not properly forming some of the PACs that we need to have. All right, where we're sponsoring candidates, we are not putting dollars behind candidates the way we need, specific dollars that we should have out of our PACs, doing that so we can really sponsor our own types of candidates that we want to put out there to put a lot of pressure on the political system from a Democratic and Republican perspective. This is something we have to do. This is fundamental politics. It's a business. We have to get involved in doing that. And what we're looking at is somewhat of a lack of that. And that's why this is going on. These black women are going to want to continue to vote the way they're voting because they get something from the system. Say what you want, they get something. You know,
Yep.
they can get their little government goodies that they get that you ain't getting. So they
Mhm.
have that. They have a certain interest level that's being met because this is what they're able to get. What are we able to get? What are we and what are we even really asking for? So we really have to look at our level of political organization from the grassroots to the national level. This is what we are going to have to begin to address. And we have certain megaphones that we have out here right now. We got to talk about some of this instead of getting caught into some of the idiocy that I see going on. So this is very serious business. And once again, it gets back to this media piece. And we could talk about black female fuckery every day, but at the end of the day, what are you doing about it? I look at this one brother; he's out here building houses, buying land, putting people on it, controlling it, running it, and running
Yep.
it, running
With
his
iron
dom,
fist. Too.
running his dom game,
Yep.
and here they are functional, okay, not dysfunctional but functional, and building. What are we doing towards that end? We have to really sit down and look at this thing very seriously and start to move forward instead of a lot of this crazy shit we're getting caught up into. If we're not getting organized at a grassroots level, how are we going to control any narrative whatsoever?
Right.
All right, and you will be taken for granted, and they will have this black female coming out here saying, "Oh, we ain't gonna vote for Bernie. We ain't gonna do this." Well, if you've got a super PAC and you're putting out candidates, and you've got a certain amount of money that you've put together for that, and now you've come out of a think tank that's beginning to sit back here and determine what our interests are, and we can all agree. You wouldn't have, women come out here and say, "Well, we ain't gonna vote." What? No, hold on a second. We got this thing organized a little bit differently. We already know where we're going to go on X, Y, and Z. All right, and what issues are going to be most important to us, and what we're going to vote for, and who we're going to vote for, and who we're not going to vote for if they don't come out here supporting our platform. That type of game. We've got to get to that. We've got to get to it sooner than late. We've got to get to it.
Well, I mean, I think part of our political correctness that us black folks have been living is that when it comes to politics, oftentimes, like you brothers said, we have a tendency to have the women out front. Okay, especially in the last say 3 to 4 decades, we've had the women out front, and we've let women kind of represent the people. And people who are running for office and are in office, mainly the Democratic Party, they know that. They understand that. They know that they don't have to appeal to the black man, because like you brothers have been saying all night, when Democrats think the black folks, they thinking black women. Why? The black women are in the churches. The black women have the most spending capital. The black women are the ones who are out there. They're the ones that are out front, even if they're not as politically knowledgeable or politically savvy as black men. It's as black men, they're always out front. So they know all they have to do is to appeal to the black women, and that's it. And not only that, they have the numbers. There's more of them than it is of us. That's just a statistical fact. There's more of them. So all they have to do is appeal to them. They don't give a damn about us because they don't think we count. That's why you have these candidates like Kamala Harris, someone like that. She knows that she doesn't have to appeal to black men. All she has to do is appeal to black women. As a matter of fact, let me go over to Brother Haywood. Brother Haywood, you there? Let me ask him, because he's in Cali, I believe. Brother Haywood might have took a nap. I wish Info Man was on here. From what
Brother Haywood, you gotta unmute yourself.
Yeah, unmute yourself, Brother Haywood. He probably done took a nap, because Kamala Harris knows that all she has to do is say she's for black people. All she has to do is say, hey, I'm black too. That's it. That's all she has to really do to captivate black women. That's all she has to do. She doesn't have to show and prove anything. Now, black men, we want to see more than that. You can't just say, well, I'm for black people and hey, I'm black too. You know how Latinos and some Asians will come to you and be like, oh, I black too. They say that when they're around you, but when they go home and sit down with their family and shit, they still call you niggas. It's sort of like that. Black men, you can't just say you're black too. We want you to show and prove, but she doesn't have to show and prove when it comes to black women, man. All she has to do is say, I'm for black people, I'm black too. And that's pretty much it. That's good enough. Do y'all agree? Disagree?
I mean, yeah, Nagone said it before, man. She has to do this. You know what I mean? She has to do that. She has to represent from blackness. What's she gonna run as? She could run as a multiracial Indian American woman, and she could do that if she wanted to. But when it comes to politics in this country, same thing Barack did. He had to go the route of being a community organizer, and even though he never dated a black woman before, he had to marry a black woman. You know what I mean? This is the way it is. You look black, you are a black man, so you got to cloak yourself in blackness. And it's the same thing Kamala Harris is doing. She has to cover herself in blackness, even though she has not really lived a black life up until she went to Howard. You know what I mean? And she talks all the time about her mother's an Indian mother from a high class in India. You know what I mean? So, what culture does she really represent? You see what I'm saying? And then she's always doing this funny stuff, but now she's doing hot sauce, and I listen to Cardi B. And it's like, but she has to do it because there's really no other way. This is the only real path for her to the throne, if you will. You know what I mean? Is to cloak herself in blackness.
And she's taking a lot of criticism. People are definitely looking at her like, hold on 1 second. Well, oh, really? Oh, is that right? Kind of thing. So people are looking at her closely. And like I said, we had Information Man up here a couple of weeks ago, and he did break it down. He said, "Hey, he came and talked to the group, to the fraternity group there at the graduate chapter and all that, and they were involved in politics as well. And she made a lot of promises and delivered on zero. So,
Info Man said she was full of crap.
Yeah. Said she was." That she was definitely full of it. So
he took it a step further. He did a premiere this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he put a long presentation, an actual video presentation, a pre-recorded presentation on her ass. Info put it out there.
So brothers are looking at it. We are highly critical. If this woman is going to get any type of vote, especially from brothers, okay, and from a lot of black people on the whole, she got to show and prove. And I think she's going to have a very difficult time doing this. I think she's going. I think she has a lot of challenges.
She can't pull the She can't be. She can't do the CB4 shit on it. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm biggity black, y'all. She can't do it. It's not gonna work.
No. I'm biggity.
No. I don't think.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, and I'm blacker than black. She can't do it. It's not gonna work.
I think she's going to have a lot of challenges. That's just what I'm seeing. But anyway.
But is that part of when we talk about political correctness? Because you got political correctness for the average everyday citizen, then you got political correctness for the quote unquote politician. Is that part of her? Is that part of her political correctness where she has to, overplay it and be, kind of over black and says she listened to Tupac and claimed to have smoked a joint and also kind of you have to do that kind of stuff.
She feels
she's been told by her by them white folks that had backing her up. This
her campaign is the same people who did Hillary's campaign. It's got the same people.
This is what we got to do in order to appeal to the black community and be black and all that. And this shit is whack in my view. I don't give a damn about you smoking a joint. How many Negroes did you lock up when you was up in there?
Let's talk about that political correctness.
Okay, we do try to play politically correct, but I think black people should not be concerned about political correctness at the staging game. We should be talking about what our interests are, and let's be quite frank. If we really vote our interests, some of that would not be politically correct for some people. So I think we just have to just go what is best, what is within our interests, as opposed to caring about what's politically correct and so forth.
Right.
Because if folks talking all kind of political correctness, but we know immigration and all these kind of things. These are kind of wedge issues and all of that. what we need to do is, talk about what's really going to be very important for our community.
Yeah. It's about tangibles, Nagone.
Exactly. What's going to
Yeah.
what's going to benefit us? I don't think we need to be sitting back here worrying so much about being politically
No,
correct.
let me ask you a question, man. How much power does a prosecutor have when they run their office? Is it true they can hire who they want?
Yeah.
So my question to her is, like, as a DA, for as long as she was in San Francisco, and I got into it with this chick on Facebook about this. I said, as a DA in San Francisco, as the attorney for the state, she won a statewide election. I said, how many black women did she hire?
She could have put
How many AKAs did she hire? She put nobody on.
She could have put anybody on.
She could have put anybody in there. I mean, she even put a black secretary in there. Nobody.
But,
you know what I mean? So I'm like, so when you talk about putting somebody in office that's going to do something for you, she couldn't even do it on her. She wouldn't. I didn't say she couldn't. She would not do it for her.
Jay, so much of that also depends on who's paying the biggest fare up in there as well.
I understand that, but she could have placed a Negro somewhere. She could have put a janitor in, somebody get coffee, somebody.
Who's paying your fare? I'm just saying that played a role. I think that speaks volumes. I think that speaks volumes.
It speaks huge volumes. Now, how you going to have two major offices for a long period of time, 25 years as an official, over 20 years of public office, and you didn't hire not one? Not one.
We see how this game is played.
No skewy in the office? Nowhere?
No skewing.
No in the office. God damn.
Well, let me ask Brother Haywood, because I think he's back. Brother Haywood, you there?
Yeah, me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
What's your take on Kamala Harris? Because you're out there. You're on the West Coast. You're in Cali. I mean, what's your take on Kamala Harris, man?
I think one of the brothers mentioned earlier in the discussion that black women have been pushed to the forefront, and black men, ultimately, we have been all but forgotten in the political realm, right? So Kamala Harris represents this new wave of black women who have ultimately stepped into roles of authority and influence politically. And to me, she is a wolf in sheep's clothing. In fact, I don't even think she's in sheep's clothing. She's obviously a wolf. The problem is that, again, we live in a climate today where women are unfortunately in control, and we're allowing them to be. Men aren't fighting back. Someone like Kamala Harris, who is biracial, if I'm not mistaken, who is married to a white man, she is in a prime position to, A, manipulate black people because she has the right skin color, but she can also, B, weasel her way into the hearts of the masses because she's married to a white man. It makes her less threatening as a black woman. So she is in a prime position to gain more power than she already has. And that is dangerous because, in my opinion, she does not have the interest of black people at heart. She has their votes on her heart. But once we give her the votes, I guarantee you we'll be all by her. And that's how it really goes with a lot of these politicians. We still, for whatever reason, love Bill Clinton, a man who put thousands of Negroes in jail. We all know this. Hillary Clinton was connected to Bill. We voted for her in 2016. How many of us rushed to the polls to vote for Hillary Clinton? How many of us did?
Yeah, black men didn't. Yeah.
Black women did.
Hell yeah.
And a few brothers did as well, because this is what we said. Well, she's the lesser of two evils. I'm not voting for Trump, so let me vote for Clinton. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton, she thinks so low of us, right, that she said, well, let me get LeBron James, Jay-Z, and Beyonce to convince these Negroes that I'm the right candidate. She didn't even have enough respect for us to believe that we could make an intelligent political decision to vote for her. She felt like she needed props.
Cory, don't pass over the fact that she pulled hot sauce out her bag, man.
And she pulled hot sauce out her bag.
Thank you, sir. Right? I want you to say
so. It's like, let me get these props, right, to convince these Negroes that I'm down, that I'm one. Kamala Harris is doing the exact same thing. She's using the same playbook, and for whatever reason, it seems to me like it's working. Maybe not to the same degree that it worked for Hillary Clinton, but you still have black people listening to her. Like, the signs are clear. This woman is clearly manipulating us for the vote. And yet still, we're giving her an opportunity to at least, consider what's ridiculous. No, I don't trust her. I don't trust her. I don't trust Maxine Waters either. Never have. I don't. In fact, I'll go as far as to say this: there
That's
are only
awesome.
a few black politicians that I trust in America. Period. I believe all of them have been bought. I believe what they do is anytime the election season rolls around, all of a sudden they become pro-black. All of a sudden they care about black issues. But the moment they get what they want, we are forgotten. There are probably more black politicians in power now than ever before. But have Negroes actually progressed? Are we better now than we were really 30 or 40 years ago when you really think about it? We're not. And yet there are more black people in power politically than ever before. And yet here we are still trying to find our way. It doesn't add up. And it's because they really aren't doing anything for us.
Well, once again, comes back to our interests, and we have to vote interests, and that is a big part. Now, I'm going to say this: black women, on the whole, they do vote their interests. They do. They do extract something from the system.
Hell
They
yeah.
get something. Okay, we may not, it may not be what we would like to see getting extracted, but these ladies want some of this, and they're able to extract. If we were sitting here as black men, what would we want? What do we want? What do we want to see? What do we want to extract from the system? What are our key and common interests? These are the questions that we have to ask, and this is what we have to work towards. I mean, it's coming down to be a very zero sum game. Lester Thoreau kind of broke it down for you 40, 50 years ago, as to where you're at and where you are at in this as a zero sum society. Either you're in the box or you're out. So how do we put ourselves on the table? And that's, I think we already know, but these are the questions that we have to ask and work towards.
Actually,
So
we kind of seeing we our power now. Even with the sisters that are out here talking against Kamala, there's a few of them. It's mostly brothers going in on YouTube and pulling the receipts and all of that, and we showing how we can flex. We are a problem. We are a problem if we get out here and just talk. We have a medium right now. We have YouTube. We have Facebook. We have a lot of other social media platforms. We got to use them. We got to flex,
The problem,
and
though,
it's
is
just the
we
way
are
it is.
reacting. That's the problem. We are reacting to
I,
something that
I, I
we
agree,
don't
Corey.
like.
I agree. That's what Nagone was saying that we got to get more organized. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking to the point where black men's voices have an impact. You know what I mean? We can
Right,
impact the
yeah.
game. So I'm just pointing it
I
out.
totally agree. And I think our voices need to be more consistent,
Yeah,
right? I think that we need to be more of a unit, a unified front, and that we all need to be on the same page because I hear a lot of black men spitting a lot of stuff, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not uniform. A lot
right.
of us are saying a lot of different things. And so when people are listening, they might be thinking, okay, well, are these brothers on the same page? Do they have the same values? Right? Do they have the same political beliefs? Because I often hear black men spew things that are completely different from one another. If our voices are going to be strong and powerful, they have to be united. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
And the key point is uniting around a common interests, and that's the key. So when you're saying you hear disparate voices and everyone's out there talking different shit, that's part of the problem. We have to sit back and really talk about what are our interests. What
yeah.
do we really want to achieve? We have to ask these questions, and we got to work towards that. So you're
Yeah.
not running around here with some one guy saying this, somebody saying this, and then you got some of these other, so-called black conservative shines talking crazy shit
Shines.
that make no sense. I mean, that make no sense. And I'm not talking about low taxes and some of this other stuff, but stuff that's really not working towards the benefit of your community.
Hmm.
And ultimately, you are taking on certain kind of views that really don't make you anything more than a chocolate covered white supremacist, and that's not where our interests are.
Yeah.
We have to be talking about prevalence of us and our
Hmm.
community, and we got to get that together. So
I mean, there's nuance to every group. I mean, even in the Democratic Party, there's a whole bunch of people. You got the corporate Democrats. You have the Elizabeth Warren type folks. Now you got the socialists like Bernie Sanders and AOC. So there's a huge spectrum. But when they ride out against Trump, they're gonna have all right. What are the 3 or 4 things we do agree on, and that's gonna be the platform. You know what I mean? So I want black brothers to be independent. I want them to come from different, directions. But when we ride out, whether it's dealing with black women or dealing with the political system overall, what are the 3 to 4 or 5 things that we agree about? And that should be our platform. You see what I'm saying?
We should definitely be talking interests, because when we
Yeah,
start to talk that, then we start to get around a lot of the bullshit,
exactly. Yeah.
and all this should be gearing towards our community surviving, black men doing better, business,
Yep.
health,
Hmm.
education, and the betterment and the welfare of our community, decreasing poverty, ignorance, and disease. We should
Hmm.
be working towards this on a regular and consistent basis. How do
Yeah.
we go about that? That's fine. True black conservatives are more like black nationalists than white freaking supremacists. I'm gonna lay that out there right now. So there's my take on
Well,
that.
let's just
Y'all
be
deal with that.
real here. I won't generalize and say that black women in general are becoming our most formidable adversaries, but what I can
Mm.
say is that they have reached levels of education, of political power, of social and economic power. They've reached such levels that many of them feel like they are indeed the leaders of our community. They don't respect black men. They don't look to black men for counsel or guidance or leadership. They have concluded that black men simply are incapable of leading their own communities.
Hmm.
And it's obvious in the way that they speak, in the decisions they make, in the way they carry themselves.
Yep.
And that's an issue that needs to be resolved immediately.
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 Well,
Right
well,
now.
right now.
Right now.
Well,
Today,
hasn't that
today.
hasn't that been part of our hasn't that been part of our political correctness though, to allow it to be this way? I mean, because we don't want to offend women, we don't want to offend uh people who stick up for women. We don't want to offend the political Blackville, if you will. That's why we won't say certain things. We won't voice for certain opinions because brother Jay Shine spoke of nuances, and I believe there is nuances to our political correctness as black folks. I think that we often, as black men, we kind of have a collective fear about, you know, being a collective as
Hmm.
men because,
Yeah.
we're all over the place. And then you have some of us who kind of circle the wagons with the women because they follow the women, being led by the nostrils. So we're kind of fractured, and we often speak of what our issues are and what our wants and things are. And I think oftentimes we don't really know what those things are because, let us be clear, a lot of the shit that black men claim that black men want, we've had that dictated to us. This is what you want, this is what you should do, this is how you should vote, this is who you should vote for. I mean, this is what we've been
That's,
told.
that's crazy. Yeah.
That's what we've been told. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have to break away from that
Yeah.
black political correctness, man, and just do what's correct as opposed to doing what would, please the body politic, especially the female body politic. I think we need to get away from, pleasing them because they damn sure ain't trying to please us. They want to bring us on board numerically, but we all know that black men's interests and black women's
Mhm.
interests are different most of the time. So
Right.
for us to be on board with them is counterproductive to us as men because usually their interests are definitely they are the antithesis of our interests. I mean, that's
You know what's
just what I
crazy?
believe.
You know what's crazy? When Barack was in office, we had My Brother's Keeper initiative and stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out in the last 30, 40 years, what initiatives have black women put together to save their children?
Oh, okay. Now, Jay Shine, excellent point. Now, let me ask you: when he brought up when they brought up our brother's keeper, who or what group of people?
Oh, it was the white conservative males and black women.
Okay.
They were the two going ham. Fox was going ham and sisters was going ham on the other end.
Who came out there trying to knock it out the box? So, so you have to look at that's what I'm saying. Very strong grassroots political organization, really organizing, putting together super PACs, and this is where we really have to be coming from. This heavy work to be done, and I know a lot of brothers talk strong. A lot of us don't want to do some of this work, but this is where our work is cut out for us. To be honest with you, we just have to go about doing it. Grassroots political organization, political groups, super PACs, this type of game we have to play.
Nagone, there's two questions, man. There's two questions, brother. And there's two questions we got to ask. One is to black men and one is to black women. The question to black men is this. Do you care about your future, brother? Do you care about your grandchildren, great-grandchildren? All right? All right, that's just let's make it basic as hell. Like when we talk about politics and we talk about being progressive, what's the purpose, right? The purpose is supposed to be for, as men, I feel, this is my opinion, should be about our future. You know what I mean? Keeping us going, making sure we're in the right position to be, fruitful and healthy and wealthy. You know what I mean? And the question I have for women is this: if you can't listen to black men and you're not willing to listen to black men, my question to you, sister, is simply, what is my protection worth? Yeah. You crying about black male leadership and wanting black men to protect you. That comes at a price, sister. That means you shut the fuck up. You can't ask me to protect you and then you want to talk to me and tell me what to do. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. How you going to turn to a group of men who are supposed to be your protectors, in the home or out the home, and then try to rule them? Try to talk down to them and embarrass them and like I said back early in the stream about the Simone Sanders situation. That shit is completely out of line. This is completely out of line. But let Simone Sanders get beat up in the street, or let a sister get beat in the street, and two black men are standing there watching. They'd be the first ones to jump on fucking social media talking about how black men are not protecting black women. But you show us no respect. So my question to sisters is simple: what the fuck is our protection worth to you?
And are they willing to come into the camp of the men? Because we know, I mean, we saw the last election, right? About 55%, what was it? About 55% of white women voted for Trump along with their husbands, right? We have to have that.
54%, yeah.
54%. So what that tells me,
it was like 53, but it was like 53%. And regardless, it was still over 50%, which makes it a majority.
Exactly. The majority of them voted for Trump.
That's a lot of votes, because there's a lot of white women in the country.
He said and all the stuff they threw at him through the media, because at the end of the day, no matter how politically correct they hooped and hollered about, political correctness did not stop them from voting for Trump.
Hold on, guys. I think what we're forgetting is a little something called modern feminism. That's what we're forgetting about. And I'm sorry to say this, but black people still vote for Democrats, right? The majority of us vote Democratic. That means the majority of black women also vote Democratic. And if I'm not mistaken, feminism is a weapon that Democrats have used, in my opinion, to create division, not only within the white community, but within the black community as well. Black women have been convinced that they don't need men to be successful, that they don't need men for protection. They don't need men at all. And that, again, that goes into the idea that black men, once again, are pretty much being forgotten by everyone. In the 90s, we were criminals, we were gangbangers, right? We were violent. In 2019, what are we? Like, if you could attach a definition to black men in 2019 as we are currently constructed, collectively, black men, where are we and what are we? Not only to the women in our community, but to the people around the world, what are we? We are literally undefined. We're as invisible now than we ever have been. And that's the problem. And it's because the media ultimately portrays black women in a far more positive light. And to be honest with you, the statistics really support that idea. Think about this. There are more black women graduating from college. There are more black women making advances in the corporate world. There are more black women now pursuing entrepreneurship, starting their own businesses. In terms of even finance, black women are making strides and quantum leaps in that regard as well. They are surpassing black men. So if you look in every category and black men or black women are leading, right? How then could black men say, well, you know what? Listen to what I have to say, right? I want to be in control. I want to be your leader. You can't say that if you are in a position that she feels like is inferior to hers. So that's what we need to change as well, man.
Well, I think
So
I think I,
is that all political correctness? Is political correctness letting women, the women of black society just be in the front of shit? Is that our political correct mentality as black folks?
Hey, X, I just want to say this. Number one, let's get the facts straight. Black men, okay, make more money than black women. Okay, okay, out of every black men 4-to-1 ratio are in college. Okay, more than jail or anything else like that. Okay, black men right now are very gainfully employed in this country. Okay, black men are of the fastest ethnic groups opening up businesses. So when we say, "Oh, black women are doing all this," that's not. It's not entirely factual. That's not absolutely.
And they've been
correct.
given the positions that they do have.
So once again, that's another narrative that's being painted. That's not exactly true. You have a lot of these black women who are running for political offices, who are coming out of DA offices, becoming DAs and all that. They're coming out of black-owned law firms that are owned by men, by black men. There's a lot of this going on that we're not talking about. Much of the critical or true information that's out here on us is not out here. It's not being talked about, and that is part of our problem. That's what I'm disturbed about us not being properly represented the way we should be, and therefore a certain narrative is being painted out here in the community. And you have brothers jumping up here saying, "Well, these women are beating us all." That's not exactly true.
I'm saying, what I'm saying
Mr. Prophet, hey, Mr. Prophet, before I'm gonna hop out real quick, but I want to say that we can't complicate this more than what it is. The bottom line is this: the Democrat Party does not like heterosexual black men that value family. So they're going to put black women on the forefront, and black women have different interests than black men. That's the bottom line. Trying to complicate it about all the other things is wasting time. The bottom line is black men who think alike and got like minds to organize it together. Other than that, I mean, we can be here all night talking about black women this, black women that. I'm gonna step aside for a second.
War secrets is right.
I'm gonna step aside for a second, man.
What I'm saying is, you mentioned the narrative. If the media is pushing and perpetuating this narrative, and if black women are internalizing this narrative, right? What they see on TV, what they hear on the radio, what they read in magazines, whether it's true or not, it's influencing the way they think. It's infecting the way they think. That's my point.
And what we're trying to do is restore. For a long time.
It's gotten progressively. It's gotten progressively worse. Think about this right now. Think about just even in Hollywood, right? Who right now? Name 5 people, right, male or female, who are in positions to tell our stories. I'll start. Ava DuVernay, Tyler Perry. There are a few others that I can think of. Most of them are female, and Tyler Perry might as well be a female. So he plays a female in his movies.
God damn.
So
I mean, also, that was uncalled for, Corey.
I'm just hold on. I'm just saying when. Right. We could be out there doing that. But my point is that the masses, when we consume all of this material, all of these images and this imagery, the fact is it does influence the way not only black women view themselves, but how black men view themselves as well. And regardless of what the truth is, right? people ultimately believe what they see and what they're told. And if the media is depicting women as being either superior or being more ambitious or more successful, that is what the masses will believe, regardless of what the truth is. And that's my point.
And Corey, we would talk about this a little earlier, just before you came on. We were talking about how we have certain megaphones right now that black men are, can easily develop, and we need to develop that greater and more effectively than we are. Okay, and we were talking about even, let's say, something like the Black Manosphere, that I think is uh, in many respects being has a great potential to be used very powerfully. But I also think it's being misused. But there are other mediums out here that we have to develop to really put our message out there a lot more. So that message that we were talking about, or what you're speaking about, is important. That's critical. We have to control. We have to take control of that.
The question is, how do we counter? Our message is important, and I think these platforms can be used to amplify our voice. The question is, how do we counteract the massive machine that is the media and that is Hollywood? Tyler Perry, who I respect and admire, the fact is, if you watch his movies, how are black men depicted in most of his movies? We're deadbeat dads, we're cheaters, we're no good, we're lazy, we're shiftless. Black women, conversely, are often depicted as what? Either victims or women who have overcome challenges and adversity to be successful and to be powerful. These, again, narratives are constantly being pushed in the faces, not only of black women, but of black girls as well, man. We have to find a way to counteract that. Yeah.
Let me answer that. I think we already on our way of doing it right now, Corey, because if you think about it, let's just point out some females who are on YouTube doing their thing, even from the black female fuckery sector of black YouTube. You know what I mean? They only exist. The Cynthia G's only exist. Sarzan Ali's only exist. Even good sisters like Nicole from Inner Beauty only exist because black men have created space in YouTube where we can talk differently than the bullshit we see on TV, pushing the regular social norms. We got sisters out here willing to check sisters now to talk about the bullshit that's going on in the black community because black men created a space where we can have these conversations. You know what I mean? So we already doing it. We just got to keep going, and we got to keep going harder and harder and harder and never shrink. There's no turning back now. It's like a war. There's no turning back now. We got to go. You know what I mean? You see people falling left, you see people falling right. We got to press the attack. We got to keep going. All right, because we're making shit happen. Look how we hamstringing Kamala Harris's thing right now. Jason Black, Tariq Nasheed, Yvette Carnell, Tone Talks. A lot of other people they are hurting her campaign.
They on her. They on her ass.
They are destroyed. They are getting responses from Howard Dean and Cory's, like actual Democratic politicians, man. And they got all the fucking black female fucking publications like the Root Blavity and all of them. They all scrambling right now trying to save this chick's campaign because that's an agenda for them. And so we have power. What I'm trying to say is that we're not
Jay fucking shine.
We're not where we need to be yet, Corey. I agree, man. But we are not nothing to fuck with. When black men stand up and poke our chests out, we are a problem. Going back, the reason why I brought up the 50s and 60s is because we didn't have media in the 50s and 60s. We just had black men say enough. And the movement was started. You know what I mean?
I totally agree. Here's my question. Great point. What is the root cause? Because here's the thing, what we haven't identified the root cause of this. Why black women feel outside of the media. There must be something culturally that has caused black women to feel like black men simply aren't equipped to lead. I need to know what that is.
I was back. Hold on a second. I was reading, history of the Underground Railroad. Sojourner Truth. We're going back to the 17th, 18th century. We're really starting to get into the beginnings of the Underground Railroad and blacks leaving. Hey, Corey, could you just put yourself on mute because there's a lot of
echo. Got some echo coming through, brother Haywood.
Okay. There was a lot. Brothers were going up to Canada and everything else like that, and here that Sojourner was basically, here's a woman who spoke more Dutch than English and was really, helping to play a key role in the Underground Railroad. And, a lot of black women caught their freedom a lot earlier than black men did. And a lot of black women actually had black men as slaves and this kind of, you had some real ill shit going on when you really start to study deeply into what was really going on. And so generally you'd be up there and she would look at these black men and say, well, a lot of you black men, almost a damn ain't worth it. That she was running up to Canada and freeing, and would execute a lot of black men who she thought were not worthy, or thought that they would actually go back and rat to master and all this kind of stuff. But here you had black women laying a whip down on your ass even during the slave days. You could read Daughters of the Trade, then you could look at into what during the slave period and then after. But you had black women who were in certain types of positions that were laying the strap down on your ass almost like the man was. Even when you were supposed to be running for your freedom, you had some black women putting a gun to your head and killing a lot of you that were trying to go up north because she didn't think that many of you were worthy, or were rats, or were go back and tell master and so forth. All of this kind of stuff is going on. I mean, the history is deep. So if you really want to talk about the history of this and why this is, this shit goes back a lot further than many of us might.
That's like Nagone, that's like asking. That's like asking why Robert Perkins is out here being a breeder. That breeding mentality was created back on the plantation.
This goes back a long ways.
Yeah.
And so it's part of our cultural psyche. And and I'll say that. And we've lived with some of this. We have to continue to deal with that. But this is deep. And when you start to go back and really understand how things were really going here in the Western world, and especially America in particular,
pissed off about it because
I just want to say this: it's very deep. It's very deep. And when you start to look at some of this, and you start to get information out of the Library of Congress, you start to see what was really going on. This shit is it's there. Most of us don't know it. The information's there. It's in the libraries, but it's deep. And many of us are not aware of it. So if you're going to talk about why is some of that, it goes back to shit like that.
Yeah, man.
Is that I'll ask again, is that part of Black society's politically correct reality? Is that the lens? Is that the lens that we look through? Is that our Black political correct lens, where we have women leading the charge? Because not only do the white folks, the white power structure, look at us as incapable or incompetent, if you will, and also Black women look at us as incapable, incompetent, along with along with the white power structure. Because we know, even if we go back to slavery and all the way up to the Jim Crow era, and we know that Black women had a better, clearer path to freedom. They had an easier path to master, if you will. So in a sense, they have had it easier over the course of history. Therefore, with having that easier path, that easier course, they have also over time looked at us as the same way the white power structure looks at us. Because we talk about this all the time, and we mentioned it plenty of times tonight. When black people's votes are being courted, they are literally courting Black women. They are not courting us. When they talk about Black issues, they don't mention anything about Black
it's worse than that
issues.
It's worse than that. They courting us through our Black women.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they figure
exactly.
And they figure that Black women will just come along. But when you start to look at reality, you look at the Civil War and all these major wars that went on. It wasn't Black women who fought that; it was Black men who fought it.
Hell yeah.
Okay. We want to talk about the vote. Black men got the vote before Black and white women, based on your your battling skills, because you were a super soldier in so many respects, a fighting fucking machine. Okay, on those Civil War battlefields where they didn't hold quarter for you. They didn't have a quarter policy. You couldn't be taken prisoner by the Southern Gray Boy in battle. So there's no quarter policy held on you, and that's so. And we won that war, and and all that capable. So these are the things that we've done. But this is the skewing of our society that consistently tries to hold the black man back, because we're a key factor here. And you start running free or more independent, it really shakes shit up immensely. And we've seen this throughout the civil rights movement and so forth.
Well, isn't it?
So we have to take control of this thing.
Well, isn't it in the interest though of the white power structure to keep the black man docile,
absolutely,
keep the black man effeminate, keep the black man less of a threat, because black women are more manageable. I mean, the white power structure, they can manage black women.
Well, I was going to mention that too. We have to remember too, this doesn't just apply to black women. This applies to women in general. We are living in a very different time. It is no longer 1940 and 50 where men hold absolute power politically, socially, economically. Women of all races, right, of all walks of life, they have all elevated. The problem is white men will always be okay because they own every fucking thing. They have every fucking thing still, right? So regardless of what their women do, what their women say, how much power, how much money their women may attain over the course of time, they will always be fine because they had it to begin with. We don't have shit, black men. That's the problem. So as our women elevate, what are we going to do so that we aren't supplanted? That is the question, because we don't have what white men have. We don't have that shit. Not only that, but we don't even have the respect of our own women. So the key now, the focus should be, well, fuck what these women think. How are we going to put ourselves in a position to be successful over the course of generations? That's what we need to focus on. Ourselves, not on black women or anyone else. We need to be focused on us.
And we're talking and Cory, that's a good point, because we're talking about that here right now. We are talking about really putting together really, how do we talk about our common interests? How do we really, gain control of our economic and political freedom? How do we really gain that? Politics is going to play a key role. We have to be very well organized on the grassroots level. Really produce a very. I mean, Dr. Claude Anderson, he's got an answer for a lot of this. He's laid out a plan for a lot of this. So we have brothers who are talking about this. It's just a question about are you a coward? Am I a coward? Are any of the other brothers here cowards who can't step up to the plate and begin to really step forward and help to develop this?
Well, there are plenty of brothers who are cowards.
Okay, but
I won't call them cowards. I'll call them slaves to pussy. That's really what it is. We're forgetting about that on a very fundamental level, right? There are plenty of men out there who are simply slaves to pussy. Let's just be honest, okay? And so they would rather sacrifice their manhood than lose out on the opportunity to fuck these bitches. I'm sorry, I'm just being crass, but it's the truth. Okay, so you're gonna have men who will ultimately betray other men for the company of women. And as long as they can keep getting pussy, they will agree with whatever the fuck these women say. And that's the problem. Once we get over that, then we can actually get some fucking wear. Let's just be real here.
Yes, Lord. That man preaching right there.
I mean, we do have a lot of matriarchal psychosis, and I've seen it in some of these brothers here, even on YouTube. In this small sphere, I've seen it exhibit itself massively, and it's like, wow, look at these Negroes out here.
You talking about Derrick Jackson? I know what you're talking about.
I'm not. No. Derrick Jackson is running a business.
Damn, man.
It's running a business. I'm talking about some of these other cats out here that are running and caping and looking crazy, sounding crazy behind
in the immortal words of Steve Boogie. The nerve of these
The
Negroes.
nerve of these, the nerve of these niggas, the nerve of these niggas, and we see this a lot. It's serious. This shit is deep. So Corey, what you talking about? Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, Jay Sean laughing because Jay Sean knows
Oh
exactly
my
what we're
God.
talking about.
Sometimes you got to sit back and be like,
You know what I'm saying?
wow,
It's amazing.
this shit is like, sometimes you just gotta like, what, I tip my hat. Yeah, y'all running shit, man. Y'all got this shit like these motherfuckers is just jumping through hoops automatically. I mean, y'all got these tigers trained, man.
Jumping out the window, for these hoes.
These some 6 feet of Roy bitches out here, boy.
And the problem is, here's the problem. You're talking about some very powerful tigers who are in very high positions.
Yeah.
These men are the ones who are creating the narratives and perpetuating them. We're talking about men who ultimately probably were nerds and geeks and losers in high school, okay? And now they're in positions where they can actually get a date, and they'll be doing anything they fucking can just to get one. So if a woman gives them demands or directives or orders, of course they're gonna follow them, because ultimately they want one thing, and that is companionship. They want pussy, they want a family, they want whatever they feel like a woman can provide for them, and they're willing to sacrifice their own egos, their manhood, their self-respect, everything to accommodate the sensibilities and the expectations of these women. And that's the problem.
Let me say that. And it's just not these nerds or whatever. It's these so-called guys who think they're gangsters and tough guys and all this kind
Like
of stuff.
Taz. Yeah.
Some of the biggest fucking simps
Like Taz.
that exist anywhere on earth. And yeah, that name just absolutely, and many others.
Yeah, listen, man. Taz is on Obsidian's channel the other day, and I had one of those same moments to go, and I was like, God damn, this nigga's trained, boy. This motherfucker rolls around when you tell him to roll. He pisses when you tell him to piss. He gets on 2 legs when you tell him to. Like,
and they got these guys. I mean, and here these women can sit there and tell you in front of you, you ain't shit. You are lesser than this. You are that and that. And they're still jumping out the window for them. How do you explain that?
Yeah, man. Hey.
So this is what's going on, and we see it. And brothers like him are legion.
I can explain why. It's because we aren't being raised by our fathers, we're being raised by our mothers. Young black men are growing into simps because they are being conditioned by their mothers, their aunties, their sisters, the women in their lives to be simps. Ultimately, they don't know how to be men. They don't know what it's like to be a man. They don't even know what a man looks like. All they know are women. Think about the way these niggas dress. Think about the way these niggas behave. I watch football, okay? And I see these niggas score touchdowns and then twerk in the end zone. What the fuck is that? You a man, ain't you? You trying to be cute. Same thing in basketball. Same thing in other sports. I'm saying that black men, we've become feminine because many of us, let's be honest, are raised by our mothers. Single parent, broken homes. We don't have father figures. We don't have positive male role models in our lives. We've been conditioned. We've been influenced by women. And ultimately, we behave like women. And that's why we're in the positions that we're in. That's the problem.
And I see it on this YouTube where I see guys, many of them are screaming out for help. Either they realize it or not, but they're screaming out for help. So that's these are facts, but that's why.
So the goal, you told niggas be on some rah-rah shit. Yo, man, I'm a real man. When you look in their eyes, it's like, help me.
They're crying out for help.
See the twink on their eye to help me twink on their eye. Yeah, nigga, I'm hard. Nigga, I'm a real man.
Jay, you know the deal. That's exactly what's going on. And they're trying to dominate another man when they're being dominated by females. And you're looking at them, you just know what the syndrome is, and you know they were single mama raised.
What did we talk about a few weeks ago? We talked about fighting the female influence. I mean, a lot of these brothers are having this internal fight inside of themselves with their old mama. Okay, that's what's going on. You know, they're fighting that female influence, man, and they have to prove themselves because all their lives they have been dominated by mama, auntie, big sis. They raise these people. They are basically women with penises. So once they're able to get out there and try to express some type of manhood, I don't think many of them know how to do it. That's why they're drawn kind of to these women. They're drawn to these women's spaces. They are drawn to these women type things and these women point of views, because this is what they have been indoctrinated with most of their lives, if not all of their lives. And I think that has become their political correct reality, whether it be how they live, how they deal with other men, or how they vote when they go in the voting booths.
Exactly. And black women in particular, women have become bulletproof. They are beyond reproach at this point. They are beyond criticism. If you point your finger at a woman, and you could be completely right, you can have evidence to support what you're saying, but if you point your finger at women, guess what you become? You become a woman basher. They can say whatever the fuck they want about you, especially black women can say whatever they want about black men. But the moment the roles are reversed, you instantly become a woman basher. You instantly become either gay or bitter or stupid. They have created a narrative where they're able to openly criticize and sometimes unjustifiably criticize black men. But when we return, when we return fire, it's totally different.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have a critique. You're not supposed to have, and if you do have a critique, these women are basically telling you to shut up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I got an illustration that always fits this narrative that you guys are talking about right here. Remember that scene from Django, that chick Sheba, when he came up into the parlor where the dudes were fighting and the man didn't go fighting, and Jamie Foxx's character walked into the bar and that black woman cut her eyes at him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're dealing with. That's that mentality. Who the fuck is this nigga? So when you stand up as a man and talk, she's like, "Who the fuck is you?" That's what Angela Rye did. That's what Simone Sanders did. You know what I mean? That's what these sisters are doing. Who the fuck is you niggas?
Yeah, I mean, and that, like I said, it's deep. It's deep.
It's real deep, man. That shit goes all the way back to the plantation, man.
It's deep. But that's why we have to control that narrative, Corey. That's what Jay Shine's talking about. That's very much that I know. Brother Prophet here. Brother Xavier. He thoroughly understands these key pieces, and this is something that we've been talking about for a bit. So a lot of what you're saying is dead on the fucking money, dude. It's just a question about how do we go about establishing this, and we have to do this.
Well, the problem is, man, black women have the ultimate ally. They have white men at their disposal. We don't have that.
They got Zaddy working for them. But let me tell you, you start really keep hitting and making it and making inroads. They will capitulate. Have a choice,
dude. Howard Dean.
Power yields towards power. But anyway,
Howard Dean weighed in on edges, man.
He did.
This is how deep white daddy's in it. Yeah. She joked about, she pulled her hair back and tried to show those edges, even though he was making a bigger point. Howard Dean weighs in and talk about, well, don't talk about her hair, and like this is how deep white daddy is when it comes to black women. He knows this bitch. This is my girl. Get out of here, black man. Get away from my girl. That's how he on it, man.
Yeah. Zaddy,
nigga, get away from my girl.
Zaddy will chime in, but it's mighty funny. Zaddy can't shut these motherfuckers down, though. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
So I think that's key.
Well, you mentioned slavery. Here's the prime difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
A white slave owner could fuck a black slave woman, and she would not pay any consequences. There would be no repercussions of any kind.
Hold on a second. You make a hell of a point right there, because not only were there no repercussions, at times her children that she got from that man, those children a lot of times got preference. Some of them even got land and things of this nature. It was a way for them to look. It's a way to play, a way to advance. This was part of the game.
Exactly.
This existed.
What happened?
People don't want to talk
about
that.
But what happened with black men? What happened when a black man would sleep with a white woman or would sleep with his plantation owner's wife? What happened to him?
He got
killed.
Murdered.
Exactly.
He got castrated first. He got castrated first. Then they killed him. Yeah, they cut the dick off first, then cut him, kill him. Yeah.
Exactly.
You couldn't just kill a nigga. They had to take his penis first.
Yeah.
In front of everybody.
So that just shows you the level of respect that white men lack for black men, and whether it's secret or whether it's out in the open, the amount really of love and protection that white men have always had for black women. Always.
I don't think it's so much love. It's just that any man, if he has free access to your pussy, he gonna take it.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, it's not about love. It's a usury situation. They use black women.
It's a using situation. What I mean by love is this. I feel like white women, in the eyes of white men, are more disposable than black women are. I feel like white men respect black women more than they respect their own. That's how I feel.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I think Brad sits there and he goes, "Watch this, John. Watch me seek this black chick on this Negro. Watch this." And they go start some shit. I see it work all the time. I've seen it in my whole life, in my career, how black women have absolute full visceral, 100% energy just going at a brother. You know what I mean? At work. Especially when they be given, positions as supervisors and managers. They are like bushy-tailed, ready to just chop your head off, man, and just give you that business. And they just sit back and watch.
Yeah, I've been guilty. I've been. That's happened to me before. I used to be cool with a big YouTuber, and a woman came around and said that I had lied on another panel. So we had somebody mediate the next day after all the shit went down. After it found out, wait a minute, you lied on the dude. Niggas were still attacking me on the same issue. The man running the panel, even though it was proven that it was a lie. And it was just like, people are like, well, you just caught her in a lie. And she admit that didn't happen, that she told you. Why are you still mad at this dude? They're still mad.
Because the purpose wasn't about the issue. It was just about an opportunity to be mad at a black man. That's all it's about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it's about. That's how society treats us. Society treats us the same way.
Hold a second. Jay Shine, he killing it. Brother Prophet here, they know. Now, gentlemen, would y'all not agree that a lot of these women love to get in situations, pit other black men against other black men, and watch it go down?
Oh, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
They got that from Massa. Massa loves it.
Absolutely. They love to see that. And not only do they love to see that, I say this a lot. A lot of them just love white folks. Despite of what they may tell you, boy, they love themselves some white folks. They love them.
The love is
can't
mutual,
get enough
man.
of them.
The love is mutual. The love is mutual. That's what I'm saying.
Look, man, I'll tell you something, man. Black women are living in a society where they can do what the fuck they want to do, and there's no repercussions for it. You could be a slore. You could be a complete slut. You can twerk in front of your children. Let's look at what we're seeing on the internet, man, for the last 15 years, man. Just the crazy shit that we see women doing around their children. They don't give a fuck. This is the world that they want to live in the world where you don't have to be accountable for nothing. And that's what they've given them. Think about how intoxicating that is. That's freedom to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Look at the rest of society around the world. Arab women can't just do what the fuck they want to do. I'm in Germany. German women can't just do what the fuck they want to do. Go to Italy and you go out and have
Arab baby mamas do you know?
Exactly. Go to Italy. Italy's a Western country, right? They're liberals. They're sexually free and all that. But let a woman have multiple baby daddies in Italy. She's not getting married. No Italian man marry no serial baby mama in Italy. You see what I'm saying? So even in a culture of the Western culture like Italy, there's still, repercussions to fucked up behavior.
Because this behavior has been normalized. It's been normalized in our society. It's been normalized in our community. And unfortunately, once again, I keep telling you, black women have always been used as weapons by white men to demoralize, to dehumanize, and ultimately to embarrass black men.
And they can't see it. And they can't see it. I mean, it's easy. All you gotta do is stop the record. Everybody stop. Everybody put your phones down. Put everything down. Just look at the black community. How the fuck is that right? How we doing good, sister? How look at our kids. Look at their fucking self-esteem. How are we doing good as parents right now? And I'm trying to be inclusive right now because it's really y'all fault.
Here's the cold part. The cold part about it is black women have been convinced by the liberal media that they're the victims, that they're doing nothing wrong, and that we black men are either gay, in jail, or jobless. That
Even
we
when
are
they
the
do
reason why
something
our
wrong, like
communities are
when they
suffering.
lie about getting raped or lie about sexual harassment, they still get the social parent. Like this is happening with Jussie right now. You know what I mean? Which is a similar thing. They're trying to make an excuse for why he did what he did instead of just fucking letting him be accountable, be held accountable.
Exactly. And that's
You know,
my that's my
she
thing.
had a tough life. Well, she was going through a lot. That's why she did what she did. Well, she was, had a lot going on in her childhood. That's why she's the way she is. She's a slut because
Right.
of this. There's no fucking accountability.
We don't get the benefit of the doubt. Black men, we have never gotten the benefit of the doubt. Black women, here's the thing that I hate. On Mother's Day, when a black woman says, "Well, I'm the mommy and the daddy." Well,
Oh, they do it on
fool, if you
they do it on
didn't
Father's Day.
if
Yeah.
if they don't Father's Day too, if you wasn't fucking Pookie and Ray Ray, then perhaps you would have a man in the house to help you raise them
They don't
kids.
want a real man.
Your ass is you're the village hoe. You fucked every nigga that you knew wouldn't be there for your children and had babies by these fools, and now you have littered the entire community with bastard children, no fathers to raise them, and yet you claim that you're strong and independent. No, you're a fool, and you've made foolish decisions with the men that you've chosen to procreate with, and that is one of the main problems in our community. Women are being held accountable for the decisions that they make in terms of who they choose to mate with. That's the problem.
Yeah, well,
You know what? You know what's crazy? I'm gonna
No.
say this. And I know this is gonna piss some people off. I ain't trying to get you in trouble, X. But Gigi just said something really important in the chat room. Italian men are macho. She's absolutely right. Black, so are Middle Eastern men. You know what I mean? And the reason why you call them macho, them being macho, they take no bullshit. You know what I mean? They're not gonna take a whore as a wife. Now, I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings, man. Now, if a woman was married before and she broke up with, you know what I mean, and with that husband, then of course she should be eligible to get married again. Now, I'm not gonna hold the marriage against her, but if you got fucking 5 baby daddies and you pumped out 6 babies out of your, like my man X would say, out of your funky hole,
that funky
how
hole.
you getting wife, man? Look, black men are overperforming for black women right now. You got black men online every day getting on their knees for a fat bitch or a chick that got multiple baby daddies.
Yep.
Or a
We,
chick
oh, they,
that,
they, we,
or a chick that
we
just
all,
straight ain't shit.
Yeah, so
Ain't
when
shit.
these women come on here talking about black men ain't shit and black men don't want to get married and da 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 da, bitch, you overperforming because the truth of the matter is 80% of y'all ain't eligible for marriage.
I'm
Ain't but
telling
this
you,
is this.
that's
But you
black folks'
hold on. You
politically
got black
correct
men though.
reality, man.
But you
That's
got
our
black
politically
men like
correct
Steve
reality.
Harvey. You got men like Steve Harvey though fucking up the game, telling black women that a black man should treat you like a queen, that a black man should give you everything that you deserve. Hey,
I
Steve
don't know
Harvey
you,
is
bitch.
fucking up. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. A black woman said this. I asked her once. I said, "Hey, so you hold men to a certain standard. You have certain requirements, right? But my question is, what do you bring to the table?" Her response was, "Well, baby, I am the table." That's what she told me. I said, "Excuse me? You are the table?" This is the mentality that they have. They're entitled to our money. They're entitled to our time, to our loyalty. They're entitled to our souls. And yet,
Bitch,
in fucking
bitch,
exchange,
bitch,
they give very little.
bitch. You may be as big as the fucking table, you ain't the
Hold
fuck.
on.
You ain't
I
the
want to
fucking
get
table.
I
The
want to get
fuck
my
out of
brother.
here.
I
The
want to get
fuck
my
out
brother
of here.
Art in here because Art just joined us. What's good, brother Art?
Brother Art, what's up, baby?
Uh,
Como vai tudo bem?
what's
Tudo
up, baby?
bem, meu mal? Estou bem. E você?
Hey,
Tá
man,
bom,
stop that
tá
bougie
bom.
shit.
Tá
Stop that
bom, tá
bougie
bom.
shit. I want
Well,
I get jealous when y'all do that shit. Stop that bullshit.
let me
Yeah, you got to
ask
come to
brother
some
Art.
darker people's planet, huh?
Let
I
me
see.
I'm messing with you.
let me ask brother Art because brother Art his wife is Brazilian, correct?
Uh,
You have a Brazilian wife, right?
Yeah, very conservative.
Very conservative.
Oh,
So
sim, com
Gotta
certeza.
gotta
do
cut the crazy stuff out of people's mind out there.
Cut it out. Cut the bullshit.
so
Cut the
you
bullshit out.
more than likely live in a different politically correct reality as opposed to if you're married to a black woman or
Mm.
surrounded by black women. You live in a different black political correct reality. Because see, black political correctness is different than other folks. I think black political correctness is more of a code of you can't say this, you can't do that. Okay, you shouldn't talk this way, you shouldn't talk that way, you should accept this, you should suck this up, you should endure this. That's what black political correctness is. Now, other political correctness is different, right? So the reality that you live in is probably way different than what most brothers who are with a black woman live in, right?
Yeah, my situation is my wife's mother is an evangelist. So the whole family is conservative, it's like the black Osmonds in Brazil. So think about that combo. So most people, when we throw the word Brazil out there, all you're thinking about is feathers and G strings and the beach.
That's all. That's all
But
I think about. Go ahead.
yeah, so when I go see her family, it's like Mississippi or Alabama.
Yeah, and see when you start to really get into the real culture there, you find that they're very religious. Many are very conservative. I mean, the cultural piece there is, yeah, you have the samba and the dance and all that's very good. But at the end of the day, many of these women are not living that, running that whole lifestyle that I would say, gets misrepresented. And that's just how it is, and especially for the black Brasileira there,
Yeah.
and they even have songs, that out there that show that they perpetuate some of this. As your wife would know, a song out there called a nega maluca, which basically says, it's a
Crazy
crazy
black.
black woman, dancing in her ass out and all this kind of shit, and that's not really, how many black women are. I mean, many of them are very conservative
And you got to think about
in
oh, go
their
ahead.
views.
I'm sorry.
No. Many of them are very conservative in their views. You start to get into you get off the beaches, you get out of the tourist section. You'll see that's very true. And they have a very strong honor code. And if you go in there trying to break that honor code, depending on where you're at, you may get your fucking wig split. So I mean, that's just kind of where it's at. So I kind of want to bring a little more truth to that as well. But anyway, go ahead, bro.
Yeah,
Well,
and
hold on before you go, brother Art. Before you go, brother Art, let me ask you this: the fact that you married a Brazilian woman, that would be kind of considered out of the black political correctness code within itself, would it not?
that's if your scope is small. They call it the matrix. That's if like if you have a broader scope of how things are, because I'm in LA, we got Cubans, Puerto Ricans, and all that kind of stuff. And when I was coming up, we did a lot of things together, so I was able to communicate with everybody, especially if they look like me. But every time people always said different things in different languages, I don't sit there and fan it away. I'm like, well, what's that mean? What you mean by that word? So that in itself made me a part of the whole diaspora, not just America. So matter of fact, I couldn't even picture myself marrying a Brazilian because the stereotype. I just couldn't. But when I got that little art position, drawing, teaching people how to draw and stuff in the studios, everything was just so it fit. Everything fit in my mindset. So
And then admit it, once you started to learn the language and started to get
yeah, when I learned the
understanding of
language, man, I was at home. That
it
was
put
it.
you in a different place, and it's
That
so
was it.
that's why I so understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, I was
I
home.
lived there for a while, so I
And
understand.
it's funny, man, you walking around and people are, I mean, like when they know that you know something, like they can tell who's American. But
Oh,
but then when they
absolutely.
know Portuguese, they nudge you on the shoulder, and ask you where you from, and you start talking everywhere you go. And it's like, I mean, they call me a carioca. That
Yeah,
means a
got
person that's
it.
from,
Hmm.
like person that's from there. So I'm like, and that's everywhere I go. I mean, there's racism and there's fuckery there too,
Well, sure.
but but the stuff that I think people are looking for over there, it's the shit that you see on TV and the stuff that you got to go in the hole in the wall for. But it's a normal place. It's just it's a regular place, but it's just a different culture. And I think to your point, X, yeah, you're right. To the point to where there is a structure that's different from what's going on here. From what I observe, I could be wrong, is that they do a lot of stuff like maybe 40 or 50 years behind us.
Yeah, that is absolutely. Well, have you lived down there for a while, or have you been down there for?
I mean, I've been going there since 2010,
Mm-hmm.
but usually I stay like no longer than 2 weeks.
No, okay, but yeah, that's but you're getting yeah, you're right. They're about 40 years. I would say now about more 30 years, but behind where we are now. So I would definitely say that, and that's somebody who understands the culture, who sees it. Yeah, and so
Yeah.
So
I would
that
agree.
so that means they're not deeply entrenched into political correctness, because here, political correctness is everywhere. Don't say this, don't do that, don't say this to these people, don't say that in front of these people. So that probably doesn't exist as
It's
much
different.
there.
They
Well,
have a
it's
political. Go ahead, Nagone.
no. I said it's different, but it's still different. But there is some of that. Like they now have like a holiday called African Consciousness Day. So out of Brazil's terrible past, of which the elites don't like to talk about, even though racism is very heavy in many sectors there. In many sections there, they do. They are trying to find some way of balancing
Who
it.
is
So.
that?
So
Okay,
there is some
who got the damn CB on? Who got the CB on?
Breaker
Maybe
19,
some
breaker
waterway.
19.
so there
Somebody
is
running from the police.
so there is some level of political correctness beginning to happen because of international influences and of
Exactly.
course what's going on here, the anti-slavery and the ADOS and all that coming up, and now that what people don't understand is so much of what we do here and the movements here influence a lot of stuff in other places. That's why the international kind of connect is
Would
a
you
fairly important
believe?
one.
Would you
But anyway,
believe
go ahead.
they just now coming up with affirmative action like 3 or 4 years back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
Yeah,
now.
I heard about that. I heard
Yeah,
about
And
that.
I want to
Really
get
weird.
I want to get Brother Ward here because he's been kind of quiet, and then I want to go over to my man. Why you mad? What's good, brother? Why you mad? Go
What's
ahead, Brother
going
Ward.
on, brother X and
Why
that
you
panel?
mad?
Oh
What's up,
shit,
bro?
Kale, that's fun. That's
What's going on, big brother Nagone and Dre?
What's up,
with you,
baby?
fella?
Man, good check out.
Go ahead, Brother
What's
Ward.
going on, Jay?
Hey, I'm just listening, enjoying the conversation. I just hopped back in, taking care of something. Go ahead, guys. I'm gonna listen a little more.
All right, brother, why you mad? Give us a little idea what you think about this political correctness piece.
Well, let me say this first before I speak on that. As me being a red pill MGTOW brother, I can't really stay on too long because, as as they say, as a MGTOW, we hate women, but I got a rendezvous kind of going down probably in a couple of minutes. So
we're rubber, nigga. We're rubber.
check the Adam's apple.
Keep that
Check
hat
his Adam's
on.
apple.
Keep that hat on.
So I
Check
can't
the
be
wrist.
on too. Oh no, this old
I got
MGTOW.
300,000 reasons why you need that rubber, buddy.
I got hey Dre, I got two of them now. I got two big reasons now. I watch them go every day, so I got two reasons of my own.
HIV will make your dick hang sideways.
I hope you stopped into I hope you ran into a convenience store or a 7-Eleven or a drugstore or something before you.
No, I usually I try to keep them on hand.
Okay.
So
That's what I'm talking.
it's a
That's what I'm
glove
talking
department. Glove department. I use my glove department, so it's just not insurance papers and stuff up in there. But anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. I mean, here in Chicago, I think I heard you brothers while I was getting off work when y'all was talking about a lot of these males are raised by these women. And I think when we think about if we really dive into the politics thing, especially like here in Chicago, a lot of these males here don't know nothing about it because they follow their mothers. It's usually their mothers. If they voting Democrat, or mostly here this is a liberal city. So, but if you look at the infrastructure and towards the political things of nature of things here, these women don't vote for their best interest. They basically it's to them it's just a welfare city. Let's be real about the situation. And you have a lot of males that's raised in it. So they think that's the right thing. That's the correctness thing of the situation. Now, once like you got other brothers, like you brothers on the panel, including myself, that's speaking on the shit, saying, hey, this shit is not working now for us. Hey, you need to open up your mind. Like you say, Brother X, I don't know if you want to play that, open your mind. But we need more of that. These brothers, and we are waking up these brothers, because I'm seeing other brothers when I be on other panels, they are speaking to that shit. And they used to be, some that came from these homes, but they're waking up and now they seeing like, hey, this shit is not working out for us, So they're going against the I don't know the word I'm looking for, but these black women and the shit that they've been voting for, the Democratic plantation, as they would say. Now they saying fuck that, because this shit is not working for us, and it's not working for us in its favor. And I'm one of them, because I'm not neither. I'm independent. I'm in the middle. So I really do my studying. Like we have a mayor election coming, and I did my research, and to be honest with you, I feel like none of them is about what I want and the things I want here for Chicago. So, if I have to sit it out, I will. And I seen other brothers saying the same thing. So, I mean, you see more and more brothers starting to wake up. They're not just following with they girlfriend or their wives and the shit it's this Democratic bullshit that's been going on here. And it's just not here, because I know me and Dreon had a lot of discussions back in the days when we was talking about the Midwest period. And hey, to be able to correct the system, you got to know, what you're fighting against, what's not working for you. And we know here in Chicago, this shit ain't been working for decades. So, hey, it's a slow process, but I'm seeing it, it's changing, and hey, just got to keep grinding at it. So,
oh yeah, and this is by request, y'all.
Yeah, man, I ain't seen you in a while. Got love for you out there, man.
He gonna have to replay it, Dre, because play it one more time, Brother X. Just play it one more time.
Oh, okay.
One more time, God damn it. And close the shit like that. There you go. Open your mind.
And Dre, I think we have the same situation as far as our custody situation. I believe I did the same exact thing you went through. So I had to.
Were you in Ohio?
No, I'm in California. I had to rescue my son from that estrogen tank. So I'm raising him, and I'm still paying child support.
Yeah, man.
So,
like, just give an example. I'm gonna have him do
that. So many brothers are doing that.
Well, you want to hear something funny, man? When I go down there next week, I'm gonna have him do a live show while you can watch me paying. That way you can see what we go through. Maybe I'll do that. Let him do something. Let somebody host a live show while I'm paying the child support.
I figure I use that. I took it as paying for his freedom.
Yeah, that's what I ain't gonna lie. That's what I do. I figure, look, I hate to say something. Sometimes it's better. I just go ahead and pay you to leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, because that's I'm paying for his manhood. So she gonna get what she deserves because she knows she's wrong. But in the meantime, this dude got to grow up to be a man.
Right. Not even the fact of that, but think about it. He gonna protect you when you get older. At least he might come keep you out of nursing homes.
Hey, Art,
That's right.
How old is your son?
He's 14.
16 over here.
How long you had him?
I had him for I think 7 years now.
What about you, Judge?
I'm on six for you. Oh shit, you 7 years? This dude, he just said he had his kid for 7 years.
Yeah, hold on. So y'all the primary custodians, but y'all still paying child support?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, they playing the numbers games.
That happens a lot, Jay.
That happens a lot, Jay.
That's going on
happens
crazy.
I know. I just want to make sure I understand what the situation is. I know how it breaks down. I got custody of my daughter. So what happens is, they use income They use both parents' income, and then they split up on how many days what the child's with the other parent, and then they give the balance.
Well, mine was
I understand how the
distance.
formula works, but
Mine was distance. The fact that you live far away,
yeah,
they can be able to play with the numbers. If she was close by, we can get 50-50.
Right.
So,
Right.
but because 50-50 in close proximity would be able to wipe things clean. But if you're far away, you get to play with salaries and numbers. I was pissed at first, but I had to really look at the big picture.
And what state you in?
I'm in California.
Damn, Cali, that's bullshit, bro.
Oh, Cali, yeah. But see, I heard Cali. What's the max they can take in Cali? Because in Ohio, they can take 65%.
I think let me see, as far as your salary.
Yeah, they can take 65. Like if you get behind on your child support, they can hit you for 65% of your income. They can take
Well, I don't
all
know
of that.
about behind. You mean behind your rears? I just know that from the cuff, they had to. I think they had to go 25 for us.
How many kids you got? Just the one?
I have one, but
yeah, that's one.
I don't have to. I don't have to pay that 25 because I got majority custody. So that's in my favor. But I still got to fork out some money that she don't deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's so bad is sometimes it's good. Like, man, like, just think about it. I ain't never claimed my son at all. And then I think about it. He been with me, and I know this bitch. She making big time money, and she's still claiming him.
Yeah.
Well, of course. I mean,
now if that would have been a dude claiming a kid that don't live with him, first, especially when she did the fraud the first time and was doing the system there to put her in jail. That'd have been a dude doing that. Now she's been claiming the child that don't live with her. Think the IRS or tax people would put her in jail? Nope.
Okay, now see the point y'all making. Now we start talking about interests, and what are the interests of black men and all of this. Part of what we need to be talking about. Politically, these are the things that are part of our interests. That should be a part of the political platform up front. This is something that a lot of brothers got issues with this. A lot of brothers.
Well, they need to make it to where at least that immediately the fathers get, because technically you don't get custody when you are ordered to pay child support. That's actually a separate thing. So basically, you got to go file more paperwork, even though that you've already been determined a father. They should at least make some things right off the rip. Well, fine. If I've got to pay child support, then I should already have custody or that. No, you got to go fight for custody and visitation and all. I mean, literally, they can tie you up in court another 3 years before you see the kid.
But let me speak on that, because here in Chicago, actually they're changing it. And I actually spoke about this before. They're making it now they're calling it the 50-50 type of rule, meaning now they're going into the income of the woman, and say if she doesn't work, now they're questioning why are you not working? If the father if he's working and he has a good job, most likely he'll get custody, because now they're going to question the mother and say, hey, why you're not working? What's the problem? He's working. So usually he's get custody. So they are working that, they consider it, well, they don't consider it. It is the new law, but say if you're stuck, this happened prior, because they just started this 2017, you will have to get a lawyer and basically request that. But they are starting to put that in the laws here in Chicago. So I don't know what's going on. A lot of people ask me, are they trying to do that in the Midwest, other states? I'm saying, hey, you need to go down there. If they're not, you need to holler at the politicians and request for that. Hey, if they want your vote and this is what you want, hey, you got to go. You got to make your voice heard.
That's why I said before, just like you have prepaid legal, you might want to find a good lawyer that has one of those payment plans where you constantly keep paying them for just in case something comes up. So by the time something come up, you probably collected a few $1,000s and you'd be set. You'd be able to, that lawyer be on speed dial.
Now, family. Now, let me say this now, because I've been through that shit. And family court is expensive. Them lawyers are more expensive than criminal.
The family court lawyers are the worst, man. If you don't go in there with a lawyer, they're just gonna walk all over you. And what's so bad is, I've been in there with a lawyer. Lawyer don't say shit, and they just listen to him. But if you say anything, up 30 days in jail. You say the exact same shit, and they put you in jail.
The more it costs. The longer it case, you know, so you got to make sure you get a real good one that already has that money. You know, like because I have a friend that did that. You know, every month, just like anything else, he was putting I think it was $50 he's paying every month, and people were making fun of him. And something came up, and all he had to do was get his lawyer, and that was it. And I'm like,
let me say this.
I think you're talking about prepaid legal. Is that what you're talking about?
No. It's like prepaid legal, but you're actually paying a law firm to get an actual lawyer.
Yeah,
and your expenses are already paid.
Nice. But because I got to get on out of here. But let me say this right quick, fellas, and to the chat. Listen to these brothers. I mean, this is something I've been really hoping to see more of. I think to see brothers really getting out the norm, with the political part of the game. I think this is very important because even me and you, I told you this, brother X, coming from even you, Dre. We talked. Dre, actually seen me out here in these streets. I used to live stream with him and I showed him. But from a brother that didn't give a fuck to actually change my life, I do my research. So start doing your research, fellas. It don't even matter if you got kids or not. Just do your research. Know what your vote is worth. It's worth something. But if them people, anybody you vote for, if they don't have what you want done, hey, fuck that. You know what I mean? And we need more brothers coming together saying, hey, this is what we want as black men. And stick with that shit. And it don't even matter where you're from, what you've been through, regardless. We need to start coming together, saying this is what we want. If you're not giving it to us, you're not going to get our vote. So in that, man, appreciate everything, man. Y'all got your boy Taz. I actually want to get at Taz, but I can't now. I got to get on out of here. I probably holler at him. Yeah, well, I want to get at Taz, man.
Well, you my man, brother. Why you mad? You one of my usual suspects, man. So you welcome up here anytime, brother. You know that. We talk all the time. You already know. But I know you got to go and get your penis wet, and I don't want to stop.
No. They say us MGTOW. We hate women. We hate women. We don't.
Oh yeah. Okay, we won't tell nobody. Okay.
Red pill.
Keep the lights on.
We'll keep it between us. It's just us.
Remember, flush twice now. Flush it down the toilet. Flush twice.
Put a hole in the condom afterwards. Okay.
If she even reaches for that thing, no, you don't. God damn it! Sit down, girl.
And flush twice. Flush twice.
Take your umbrella with you when you're in the rain. That's about all I got.
I got you, big bro, man. I love you, brothers, man. Talk to you.
Man, love you too, man.
All right, brother. Stay safe.
Don't even let her reach for that. If she even look like she about to reach for that.
Oh, hell no.
Slap her hand.
Not even the fact of that. You better tell them you're not allowed to use any that they provide too.
Hell no.
Tell these young cats that, man. Don't use none that they provide.
That's true, because they be holes in those things.
Yeah, because I know it probably look cool. Y'all about to get down, and she reach over in her little bag and break out a condom for you. And you're like, oh shit, girl, you got goddamn condoms. You
prepared
that thing. Hell,
not even the fact of that, but think about it. When she comes, think about it. A girl pull out a condom, that kind of make you, oh shit, I'm about to fuck. You don't even think about it. Let me check this motherfucker for a hole.
I mean, some are cool, but I think it's always better for you to be prepared yourself.
Yeah, have your own shit. Man.
Yeah. Have your own shit, man. Be prepared.
Have your own shit, man. Don't be relying on the goddamn woman. Be happy with the fact that she actually pulled one out, because if she pulls one out, that means she's someone responsible. Okay, because just the fact that a woman has those on hand, that probably means she fucks a lot. But the fact that she pulls one out, you got to be like, hey, she's somewhat responsible, but don't use the shit though. You give her those credos, you be like, damn, girl, that's real responsible of you. But I don't want that motherfucker. I got my own shit. Put that shit back in the fucking drawer.
It's usually too small anyway.
Yeah, right. They had a little.
Now wait a minute. Now
a little small one. Was it from an Asian store?
No, but you can't say that either. You gotta play that off. Be like, oh, I'm allergic to that kind. Don't say nothing. And be like, oh, I use my own, because you know you can start an argument right there. And be like, what? You trying to say my condom ain't good enough? I'm not. Oh, fuck, then kill the whole mood.
Well, you can just say that this is the only one I use. It's very reliable, so you know we gonna be good. You know, something like that.
Hell no. I would tell her straight up, hell no, I don't want your shit, girl. I'm using my own shit. Hell.
You throw it out. You throw it out the window. This is what I think of your condoms.
Yeah, give me this shit,
okay,
girl. Just throw that shit outside. Like, I don't want it.
Well, you do it like Big Red. My office hours are 9 to 5.
Always be prepared. That's what I say. Always be prepared.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, when we talk about political correctness, it's always about doing what other people think is right, man. Especially when it comes to black men. I mean, just like we just talked about, like it wouldn't be considered politically correct if she broke out a condom and you snatched that motherfucker away from her and threw it out the door. That wouldn't be politically correct. But fuck that. You'd be looking out for your own interests. Usually when people are talking about political correctness, they're talking about political correctness for the person who may potentially be offended. They're not talking about the political correctness of the person who's saying or doing something. They're talking about the political correctness of the person who may potentially be offended. And I say I call bullshit on that. I do, because I think political correctness is a form of control, man.
Well, you know,
controlling
I think,
your actions and your speech.
Well, there's certain things, you know, what they don't want is, you know, they don't want to produce a lot of terroristic speech and create situations where, you know, people feel, you know, exceedingly intimidated and this kind of thing, you know, but once again, the terroristic, you know, racist speech or anti-religious speech against another religion or something else like that. So all, you know, like I said, the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. So I think, you know, there's some good intentions behind it, but at the end of the day, some of this stuff, it just doesn't fit. We ultimately, I say, fuck political correctness to a large extent. Let's deal with our interests. That is the most important thing. That is a priori, our interests. It's not so much what I care about what somebody else might say or what somebody else might think. They could say whatever the fuck they want. Fuck them. At the end of the day, what is right for us? What's right? What is right for brother X? What's right for brother Shine? What's right for him and me here, brother Nagone? What's right for brother Art? You know, what's right for us? You know that's the key here. And I don't think we have to be politically correct to get with what our interests are really all about. And I know where you're coming from, brother X. You've been talking this all night. You've been hammering on that. And I think at the end of the day, fuck political correctness to a large extent, especially if it goes against our interests. You know, we have to talk interests now. It's a zero-sum game.
Damn right.
If
I have to make a choice, over whether or not to be politically correct, or winning, I'm going to choose winning. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, winning. Political correctness when it comes to winning. I mean, that's
all it's about.
Yeah, that's how we need to take it on.
The best takeaway is just to make them feel like I don't want to be around your ass. I mean, just the bottom line, the way you are, I can't be around you.
God damn.
Just straight up. I mean, you're not even worth my energy cussing you out or being pissed or whatever. I'm not to be all pompous, but it's like, I just can't be around. I mean, you smell bad, whatever it is. I can't be around you. I don't care if that hurts anybody's feelings, but the thing is, you're not physically harmed. I didn't threaten you or anything like that. You just don't exist. That's the bottom line.
I totally agree with that. Hey, that's a part of our interest as well. You know, let's not play that, and let's talk about consistently self-improving. You know, that's another thing too. You know, I see. You know, we're out here. We're not talking. A lot of us brothers, we're dealing with a lot of issues. We got a lot of things going on, but I don't see a lot of us talking about self-improvement the way we need to. You know, we need to we need to consistently be talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Consistently read more, get more information, be in that gym, going hard, working out, getting right, get your health correct. One of my good friends, he just came up, man, 60 years old. Here he is now, having heart surgery. His heart's bad and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, what's this, you young dude? How is this? How is this going on? We're not looking after ourselves, and that's another thing that affects us, black men. We deal with a lot of stress here in this culture and society. So we have we have to really
to say,
we have to deal with that. Anyway, go ahead.
What did Brother Haywood, and I don't know what the hell happened to Brother Haywood.
I think he's at work.
What did he say earlier? The reason why many men can't focus on self-improvement, why? Because they're too busy chasing ass.
Chasing his ass, being matriarchally psychotic behind these fucking hoes. It's fucked up.
Well, not even.
Can I say something on that? Go ahead, Brother Judge.
And even if you notice, even if you listen to people like Tom Likas, even he say, focus on yourself first. Bitches will come. I mean, people hate that, but
they're in a bad position because they chase pussy before establishing themselves financially, man.
Exactly.
Focus on establishing our home, our housing, and chase pussy, we wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah, how's that saying go? You lose a lot of money chasing women, but you'll never lose women chasing money.
Yeah,
that's exactly correct. It's just like, I'm on the money grind every day, but I'm also in the gym. It's pretty funny. We over there. It was just the other day. We're hitting chest. Now I'm doing a little working out for a powerlifting meet. So I'm hitting about 500 on the bench. Trying to get a little higher there because I'm trying to get to that 600-pound mark. I take no steroids, nothing else like that. Now I know that my strength game is at the top 1% of what exists on Earth. I understand that. But here these women come around looking at you doing this. I'm not thinking about these bitches. Pardon my expression. I don't want to say bitches right now, but I'm not thinking about these females.
I'll say it, bitches.
When I'm in the gym,
there is no censorship on DXL. There is no censorship.
But they're looking at you. I'm not thinking about it. But they're looking at me. I'm not looking at them. I'm not thinking about them. But they're looking at what I'm doing. I'm saying, okay, I'm trying to improve my game, and they're looking at you improving your shit. So that's just an example of just sitting in a situation and watching other people, looking at what you're doing, trying to improve yourself, and they're impressed by you improving yourself. That goes with your business, your money, everything else that you do. It's about you improving. It's not about you running behind these hoes, running behind them and worrying about what they think. And half of them will blow your ass up if you don't watch it. So, and your vetting process better be live, because if it ain't, they're going to fuck you up as well. So you've got to be on top of your shit. You got to be on top of your game, improving your game, getting this healthy, getting this strong. I'm trying to get stronger every fucking day.
They got to get that thirst can away too.
I'm trying to get all that, exactly. I'm not worried about they thirst. I'm not worried about how they looking at all. I'm not worried about that shit. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about how we're improving on a daily and consistent basis. That's what we have to be concerned about. And if we're not talking about self-improvement and really getting ourselves better, and no one else is talking about that, these are not your friends. These are not your friends. They ain't down with you. All right.
Look, I think you're right in the aspect of black men have to focus on our own interests. And the number three, I'm going to say three things. First thing is, in my opinion, is our black sons. I don't have any kids yet, but the future of black boy. And the number one thing, in my opinion, is first bringing the trades back into middle school. Plumbing, electrician, heating. 7th, 8th grader boys should be learning the trades. Second, removing the LGBT curriculum from the schools. Black men got to be vocal. We don't want our boys or girls learning about gay stuff in school. Third, every police officer nationwide should have a body camera. And if he don't activate the body camera when contact, he should be punished. Those are
not even the fact of that, there should be automatic loss if you on anything. You ain't got no word. I mean, plain and simple. And not on top of that, no. But wait a minute. On top of that, with the body cam thing, the footage needs to be uploaded daily. You don't upload your footage, you off for a fucking week. Not tomorrow. No, it should be screwed. The public needs to be able to see that shit.
You don't upload your footage, you're fired.
Right. Oh,
the main three is basically focusing on boys to having trades back into school. Second, removing the gay agenda. Third, every police officer nationwide should have a body camera when making contact. with their,
But brother War, you know that the freaking PC goddamn brigade, they fought tooth and nail to get that whole acceptance of homosexuality nonsense in schools and shit in the first place. That's that whole political correctness nonsense where accept everybody's the same. You should want to be around homosexual people even if you're not homosexual. You should want to be around transgender people even if you're not transgender. That's part of the whole political correct freaking package, isn't it?
Yeah, this is
and then you notice
this is where heterosexual black guys got to stand their ground and be straightforward and say, listen, this is what we want for our children in the future. And we know that this gay agenda is population control. So if you're a heterosexual black guy, you got to voice your opinion. You cannot bite your tongue or be politically correct about that.
Well, it's more than voicing your opinion, because a lot of this, wow, is somebody doing some kitchen cooking or something?
Okay, I'm sorry. No, I was actually putting my tools away. But I was saying no. But think about it.
He's right on that gay agenda shit. Look how many motherfuckers, like if you ever go to any social networking site and watch the younger generation, you see the younger women under you. Damn near all the women are bi.
Yeah, let me touch on that a little bit with the educational part. It's more than just it's more than just doing the whole voicing your having your voice. You got to find out who's in charge, whatever politician is in charge of, the Department of State or your State Department of Education. Those are the people that you have to really bang on their doors because their names are on the ballot.
Yeah.
So,
and it's policy.
Yeah, because we don't say nothing. You know what I mean? They just throw it in there. And the part that I notice, they don't push this gay agenda stuff in affluent white schools. They push them in the minority schools. We don't pay attention to that. It's not across the board.
Well,
they come into the hood with this.
They don't have to, Art, because they're already fucking each other in the ass. So,
Yeah.
There's no point in being redundant,
They're just trying to emasculate us because, like you already know that the hood has the edge as far as masculinity. So they're trying to cut all of that, because a lot of teachers back then were afraid of our boys. We've been in school before. And we always see the guy has an edge on him. Teacher kind of like, the teacher's a little different. He's off his game as far as teaching because the person had a jacket on, the way he dressed, the way he talked. So he has that extra attention. But now since they're making these guys docile and less expressive, they feel a little bit more safe. Matter of fact, they bully these boys now.
The moms are helping them to emasculate the boys early, though. Like when the mom sees this boy has that aggressive mentality, she starts beating him and yelling at him, making him soft, and then he starts putting on a dress.
Yeah. They definitely want them emasculated, and we've seen that this emasculation has been going on silently in our community for a lot of years, and we see evidence of this all over the place. We see
not even the fact of that.
We see
damn shame is what it is. Well, I want to go to my brother Info Man because he done came up in the building. What's good, brother Info? I see you down there.
Information man. What's up, fam? What's up, frat? What's up,
family?
baby?
What's up, Frat? It's good to hear
man?
you, brother. It's good to hear all you brothers. Y'all getting it in tonight. I had a few things I was doing tonight, X. So I'm sorry I come in so late, but I just wanted to say what's up to everybody. It's great to see you brothers getting it in with good talk, good real talk and everything. So what's the main topic, Brother X? I hadn't had a chance to listen in too long.
Black political male correctness and whatever your interpretation is of it, we want to hear it.
Well, I can say that in a short term, all black male political correctness needs to go the hell out the door. We do not need to be corrected. Why do we need to be freaking corrected? That's the bottom line. What is it that we need to be corrected about? Okay, right. What is it? Not a damn thing. We need to be corrected. I think when I was last weekend, Sitting and had a show. You had brother Angry Man on there, Cerulean Gray, and all those brothers were on there, as well as Nagone and many others. And he said part of the problem is that as black men, we're not executing our power. It's all about power. Power conceives nothing without a demand. If we do not have standards as men to demand what it is that we expect of our women, then you're going to continue to have everything falling down corruption within our community from the women. I call it corruption because our women have become corrupt in the sense that they have no regard for us as men in certain circumstances. And as you heard brothers on here say, our young men are being corrupted by our women who are not on top of their game in terms of how they're raising sons, and they're in this whole gay agenda or gay ideology is permeating in all our music, the clothing. Let's check this out. The skinny jeans, the clothing that the kids are wearing. Who do you think is designing that clothing? Who's designing that clothing? Gay people. He who controls he who controls the image controls the mind. They control the fashion, they control the entertainment, and our kids are mimicking gay ideologies, gay fashion from what they're wearing, the way they're talking, the way they're looking. And
that shit is scary. Them skinny
it's scary as hell.
They make the draws.
My arms are bigger than a lot of these dudes' legs walking around. They walking around with their pants dangling halfway up their ass with skinny jeans. And
they want to be. They trying to be tough
and trying to give me the side eye, like, son.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't do it.
Don't one arm.
Don't do it.
What y'all
wearing polka dots on them skinny jeans.
I mean, what's up?
Come on. And you call yourself a man?
Como se fala que é ridículo, né? Que é ridículo, amigo.
Muito feio.
Muito fraco também, né? Muito fraco.
No gosto.
I would just say the women who don't meet our standards and who are not in our best interest, they got to get out the way. And the women that are the women that we should celebrate in terms the women that are doing the things that we are coveting as men. Those are the women that should be celebrated, or at least the women that we should take our time with. And the women that are not, they got to get out the way. And this is another thing I'm noticing as I'm listening to, as I have listened to brothers in the manosphere, and I'm coming to an understanding that in a lot of ways, some women, they never want to be held accountable, and they make a lot of excuses. And I hear it on YouTube. Everyone's making excuses for what they do, but black men, we're always the ones that are held accountable for everything that we do. But on the other side, sometimes our sisters don't want to be accountable for the fuckery that they engage in, and it's not balanced. So that's what I really wanted to say. It's just shit is not balanced. It's all out of whack. Off balance.
It's running, deflecting. Hell, when we in church, when we have to be responsible in church, we don't say it's my fault. We said the devil made us do it.
That's right.
Hey, that's the key thing you just said. The church, man. I think these black pastors been let off the hook, man. They're getting so much money from these single mothers, but they don't have after school programs Monday through Friday. They should open their church up Monday through Friday after school for our kids. These black pastors, man, they should be mentoring. Don't be asking no other body. Go to these black pastors. Ask these pastors to mentor. They got resources. They got networks. They should be mentoring these little black boys. All right. Ask these
how they gonna do that when they need the rugs to look nice for Sunday?
Tell it.
Not even the fact of that is because they too busy fucking most of the people there. That's why the pastors ain't doing shit.
I mean, but most of these churches is just for show anyway. You know what I mean?
And the dad's not around. See, when the dad is not around, then the pastor could be the father figure. So he's having his way.
Absolutely.
I say that a lot of people don't realize church is the biggest fucking
go to some of those.
So hold on.
Damn right. We spend how many millions and billions of dollars do we spend in the church? But not only that, you go to some of the worst cities where people are dying at an alarming rate. Do you know what you see on every corner? A church.
And a liquor store.
Church. You see a church on every corner of those cities, like Detroit, like Chicago, St. Louis, Baltimore. There's a church on every damn corner, but dozens of people are dying right there.
Let me give you a fact. There's more churches in this country than there are homeless people. Think about that.
Damn.
In the city of Oakland, where I lived at for about 10 years, and there's a church on every goddamn corner, but yet you've got all these problems in the community. I'm going to probably say something that I will say something that I'm going to say something that will be probably blasphemy, And I do have respect for Dr. King, because not all preachers and pastors are created equal. But I'm willing to say that maybe the worst thing that's happened to the black community is the preacher.
See, back in the day,
man,
look, back in the day,
never lie.
if you was a father, you had a family, and you were struggling, you can go to your church, and he would basically organize you to do a little job for him, and he'll help you out with your family. But now today, heterosexual black guys are not fucking with the church. You got blatant homosexuals in there going all the way against the Lord. I'm not even religious though. I'm not religious at all.
Yeah, but they're going against their religion, right?
The church used to be like the resource for all these single mothers. You know, these pastors have little dating little operations to hook these girls up with good fathers and shit. These pastors could be doing all types of shit for these single moms, all types of shit.
But hey, hold up, can I say something real quick? Art, I want to lose the thought because Art said something earlier that I want to just harp on. Art said, you know, in the church, there's no real accountability because every time you do something wrong, the devil made you do it. Now, I want y'all to think about this. How many times do we hear black women blame black men for what they do? I did this because how he treated me. I did this because I thought he loved me. I did this because, you know, he pissed me off. I did this because I thought he was up to something. So are they really saying we the devil?
Yeah. I got one to add to that, Jay Shine. And you know, a lot of us been raised in this church and everything, and we, you know, like John Henry Clark said that we out Christian to Christian, out Muslim to Muslim. That's black people. The thing that we have internalized, if you think about that whole thing about the story of Mary and Jesus and Joseph, you know, Mary has been told that she's going to have a child by a father that she's never seen or man that she's never seen. Think about that. And then Joseph's supposed to be the stepdaddy.
Yeah, he was a stepdaddy.
This is our culture, man. This is our reality. But yet we go to church and make it our spirituality.
You know something, Jesus? You my son. I love you. See, but even though you're not mine, I love you, boy.
Yeah, you never saw that the dad, but you got to deal with the stepdad.
Look, I think that whenever you believe your God is white, you're not going to fight against him. If think about that, like if you believe God is white, you're not. Well, why would you fight against that? And look, I'm not religious. I don't fuck with the Muslims, the Hebrews. I don't believe in that shit. But I'm saying Black Americans really believe their God is white, and you really think we're going to fight against them? That's crazy.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is that we've been psychologically damaged to where instead of focusing on what we need to do as a people, we're stuck in somebody else's spiritual system that really, you know, kind of messed. It might work for other people.
Is it spiritual art or is it mental?
I think it's just. I think it's industrial. To be honest,
I take that.
I think it's industrial, but we call it spirituality.
Yeah, it's not real spirituality because spirituality. Yeah, you know right from wrong as a person.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about they label it. You know, religion means relive. So it's just something that basically, hell, people read the Bible verbatim instead of reading the spiritual properties in it. So they even know what the symbolistic meanings have.
Lying, Art. You lying. They don't read the goddamn Bible.
So they actually believe in a big whale that swallowed a man and all that kind of stuff.
You jive turkey. They ain't reading no Bible.
Or people fell out of a tower and spoke different languages. You know, they believe this stuff. So therefore, if they're going to believe that, then they're going to, matter of fact, they're reliving stuff that they can't prove.
But I joke, but here's the thing. They're not even reading the book, these so-called Christians. They're regurgitating what somebody else told them that was in the book for most part.
And I'm not trying to spit on people's beliefs, but I'm just saying.
When I hear that part about the apple and Eve in the garden, I don't know about that shit, but it sounds true, man. Like, whenever I hear that part, it sounds true. And I think if those pastors really taught the true Bible that the Hebrew Israelites talk about, you'll have a lot more heterosexual Black guys in those churches. If they really taught the real Bible, I think those gays and those Black women will just leave. Real Black guys will come back.
Man, and let me tell you some reason why a lot of brothers are not going into church. They don't want to be cucked. Half of these damn women in this church are up in there chasing this damn pastor. I saw a they had it on. It wasn't YouTube.
It's a dick contest.
It was one of these channels. Excuse me, one of these media outlets where here's a pastor telling, "Oh, honey, you are, the sexual vibe has taken you over. You got to take your drawers off. She's
Let me
standing in
lay
front of the
hands
dude.
on you.
Let me lay hands on you. She's taking her drawers off in front of this nigga. I'm saying, what the fuck is this? So how many brothers want to go up in here and know that this pastor going to take the thing behind closed doors? Tell her, let me lay hands on you. The sexual vibe is hurting you. Then take your drawers off, honey. She up in there with her drawers down with a wet ass. And this nigga up in here.
Yeah. And most of these preachers used to be pimps.
This is the kind of shit going on in the fucking church.
People don't talk about that. They used to be pimps.
Niggas ain't fucking with that. Get the fuck out of here, man.
But I used to be a pimp, but now I found Jesus and now I'm your pastor. Everybody like, oh, he's so ordained. This dude is still a pimp. Look at his clothes.
Well,
taking their drawers down. I mean, come on, man.
Most shit crazy. But
with a wet ass.
Filling up?
It's crazy.
But who's filling up the churches though? Who's filling up the churches?
Women.
A bunch of single women, right?
Yeah.
So he has become their spiritual. He has become their spiritual husband. They go there and they pray for a husband because this pastor tells them all this nonsense about
my man.
Yeah, God
to send my man.
God gonna send you a husband, and in the interim, he is their husband. Why do you think that the pastor has access to all of those women? Why do you think the pastor got 3 and 4 women in the damn congregation knocked up? Because see, he's telling them that God is going to send them a husband, and he's the interim husband until God sends them one. So this stuff goes on because see, these women are vulnerable to this guy. He comes in there, he tells them all the things they want to hear. He preaches the scriptures that he know will soften their minds, soften their hearts, and in some cases, soften and wetten their bodies. So, of course, they're piling in the church. Of course, they're handing the goddamn pastor money every Sunday because they go there not only to repent, rejoice, and praise. They go there to feel like they have potential to be someone. That is it.
That's cool.
These single mothers, well, they got to realize that when they want a mentor, go to your pastor. He has more resources. He has more networking ability. When you need a mentor for your son, go to these pastors you're giving your money to. These black pastors have to open their churches up Monday through Friday after school. When these black pastors are doing it, I'm gonna take them serious, and they should get pressure put on them. I'm gonna start putting pressure on these black pastors, man, because they got the resources. They can move money tax free.
They got the gay mafia helping them though, bro.
But say it again.
It's so much, you talking about that LGB thing or whatever. It's heavy in the church now. It's heavy. And they got muscle. They got political muscle too.
Contradiction. Look, I think that if black men point out the contradiction that you got gay people in the church, it goes against the
brother, it's heavy.
If you push that, these pastors will be hypocrites. They got to address it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's
Hey,
I've seen a lot out this way.
Information Man, I want to give Information Man a shout out. Salute to you, brother. That premiere you did on Kamala Harris was spot on. It was real good, real well put together. Good job, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Appreciate that. That was official.
That
was official.
I made a little bit of a mistake. I made a little bit of a mistake that night. I had 2 streams running, and that actual stream was supposed to run another day, and I forgot to change the time. So I had like 100 and some people in one stream and about 30 on the other stream. So
I got confused because when I got off that stream, I saw another one that streamed at the same time.
What happened was that
I noticed that too.
I meant to cut the other stream off and reschedule it, and I got home late, and it was a boo-boo on my part, but it still ended up working out because folks still got a chance to get a little taste of both that night. So I appreciate that, all the support, man. Another thing, man, I want to get your opinion.
What, the hot sauce and Camilla Harris?
Now let me just say this messy Jesse. Oh, messy Jesse. Let me just say something, man.
You mean Juicy or Jesse?
This is what you see in that young man is the image that they want to project of what black men are: shriveling, crying, lying. Okay, blivering in the wind. Okay, Messy Jesse.
Mr. Justin, my bro.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the darling, right? Because that's what everybody was liking in
Speaking of
Empire.
political correctness, I saw Van Jones dancing, trying to mansplain his bullshit. I mean, it's just disgusting to see the caliber of black men we have on TV who just can't call balls and strikes. Call the shit what it is. Black men on YouTube called this shit out 2 weeks ago. Broke it all the way down. You know what I mean? Broke it all the way down. And then we get blamed for not going along with the bullshit. That goes back to what you were saying, X, about political correctness. Man, fuck political correctness.
Nah, man. The political correctness is bullshit. We got to go with our interests. Fuck
exactly. We got to go with interest. We got to go with the truth. We got to go with what's real. And what he did was dangerous.
And we
damn
got these,
right it was.
Yeah, damn right. And we got these effeminate black guys running around here acting like females, screaming.
Exactly. That's what he's
acting like bitches. And and even if they think they tough guys, they just act like. I mean, this shit is whack. I mean, and it's time. No, this shit is fucking whack. And it's time to put a fucking foot in this shit. It's time to put a foot up in this motherfucker.
A lot of weird shit going on out here, man.
Come on, dog.
To do
a
it.
lot of weird shit. For sure. A lot of weird shit.
To do it, man.
Talking about I'm the gay Tupac, nigga.
What kind of shit is this?
Yeah, this shit's crazy.
I think
destroying
this
our culture,
fool,
man. They're just taking our culture and destroying it.
I think this fool is trying to appeal to Lee Daniels. He's trying to. I think there's some kind of thing for Lee Daniels to look at him another light, because you already know that Lee Daniels is trying to change the sympathy of racism and make your sympathy go towards the LGBT thing or whatever. So I think that's what that is.
Well, Lee Daniels was to bust that ass wide open. He got tired of his little ass, about to write him off, and he was like, "No, baby, no, daddy, don't write me off." You know what I mean? I'm gonna show you. So instead of cutting
this
himself
wig
like
on.
white girls do, yeah, he pulled a white girl move. This is some white girl shit.
Yeah.
They're
saying that. They're saying he did it because he wasn't satisfied with his salary on the television show. Now, I don't know how staging a robbery, a strong armed robbery, would get you more money on your job. Isn't that what your publicist and your manager and your
it shows you the game that's being played. X, they know that all of this bullshit around LGBT and feeling sympathy for, they know this shit is bullshit. So they know when to lie. They know right now there's Me Too shit and gay rights and all that stuff. So how do I get sympathy? Getting sympathy is how you make it in America now. If you showing tits, showing ass, or you go the sympathy route. That's how you get on now.
Yeah, X, I wanted to say something about that. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors around this whole case. First of all, if the young man wanted more money, like you said, he has a publicist, he has an agent. He could have tried to see if he could renegotiate. Something doesn't smell right now. I'm inclined to, when I listen to him on the interview with Robin, see all these Negro politicians and celebrities, they all got egg on their face right now, right? They've been pushing this effeminate Negro. Okay, when she did the interview with him, and she's a lesbian herself, so they got him hooked up with those of the same party. So she interviewed him, and he kept saying over and over again, so if I'm telling the truth, it got to be the truth. I'm inclined to say there's something wrong with the young man too. There's something emotionally damaged about this young man, and it's pretty obvious to me he has not had a proper male role modeling in his life, because he acts just like a little girl.
Well, didn't he make up some bullshit a while back in LA? He made like a false report to the police in LA a while back. Didn't he pull this
about
kind of
a
shit?
letter, some kind of letter that was written with some
what's going to happen?
Like a while back.
Yeah, that's a federal. Now, check this out. He's looking at federal charges because the FBI. I saw. If how many of you actually saw the letter? It looked like something out of a damn movie. It had the cutout of the letters.
Yeah,
and then it had the little scrabble, like a little, like something a little kid would do.
Ransom.
Bullshit.
Serial killer.
He's in trouble because they can give him 10 years in prison
That
for
nigga was
messing
watching
around with the
Beverly Hills
feds
Cop.
like that.
He was watching Beverly Hills Cop 2 and said, I'm gonna pull a bitch.
They cut out a letter from different newspapers and make
Sounds
it
of the
spell
Lambs
words
type
and
shit.
He said, "Here, take the bananas."
That's that TV, man. That's it. This is what happens when you are Hollywood mind. Your mind is Hollywood. When you just you ingest and internalize all this bullshit you see on TV. And that's why you gotta watch. We gotta watch what our kids are watching. For all intents and purposes, our children, you know, most of the females, man, are white girls. Mentally, they've brought the fantasy of being a white girl. Like if you look at our sisters, just look at our sisters how they act. You know, pulling with the weeds, pulling the hair over their left ear like a white girl. They talking like fucking Clueless now. You know what I mean? They acting like fucking white bimbos.
They act like they're
and then now they're using white girl
Ireland and shit.
Yeah, they're using white girl tactics to get up, whether it's through sex, false claims, sympathy. You know what I mean? This is white girl shit.
Yeah.
Hey, it's funny you said that, man, because I mean, you do got to focus on the children because the conditioning for the adults over 20 is already done. The media is focused on the youngsters that are like, 8 to 18, and they're pushing this LGBT thing. So it's up to the adults to school the youngsters on what's up, because if you don't, you're going to have these young boys thinking it's okay to suck dick. You're going to have these girls think it's okay to twerk and be whores. So it's going to take older black men to be like, youngsters, listen, don't go down this road. It's going to take us to do this shit because the media and these radio stations have a certain agenda. They're not worried about.
I'm gonna give y'all an assignment. I'm gonna give y'all.
Hold on a second. I just wanted to double up on that point. He did right about that. And the bottom line is, the LGBT and all of that. That's not within our interest. That's not within our interest. And that's why. And that's why I'm sitting there saying, here we are. I can see it here in this medium and others. Black men sitting around here fighting each other over craziness, over dumb shit, and then we looking at this kind of stuff. Think about how psychotic that is.
I'm gonna give y'all an assignment,
and the bigger picture issues that we really got to deal with. This is some real shit.
I'm gonna give y'all a very, very important assignment, but before I say it, just think about this. These guys, they're not knocking at your front door. They're going in the back to try to go after our sons and daughters. So that's number one.
This is no joke.
That's number one. Man. Number two, you need to download any kind of app, frequency app. That what happens is that if you have the frequency, if you get that frequency, if you can remember this, 16,000 to 17,000, if you just play that sound, you can't hear it. These teenagers can. Matter of fact, they can hear real tight where it kind of irritates. But in the music industry, there's that same frequency coded with different words and things. But the kids don't even, if they see that nobody else is hearing it, but they're hearing it, they think they're hearing things. But the thing is, that stuff is constantly being played in the music, social media and stuff like that, but we don't hear it. But it's because the frequencies are so high that it goes beyond us. So when it comes to trying to shield them from different subliminal messages and stuff like that, we don't have a clue, because basically we think we're seeing one thing, but we're seeing another. It's damn near like the cartoons. Remember I think some of y'all saw that with Lion King, what his face was some panties or something. The lion, or you had a bunch of penises in the Little Mermaid, all that kind of stuff.
Sausage party, all that shit.
It's all phallic symbols.
So you actually, the thing is, they get desensitized as they get older with all this stuff. So when they start seeing gay references and stuff like that, it's like whatever to them. But we sitting there like, hey man, that's not right. But they're like, well, we used to it anyway. So you have to make sure that you pay attention to every detail of what's going on in there.
And don't forget about the social part of that too, Art. You coming up in junior high school, in high school, and you want to belong to something. The easiest way to belong to something right now is to be on some glee shit. I'm for LGBT rights, and that's not right. And so you see these kids walking out, and they're not even gay, they all carrying rainbow flags and all that. So this is a way now to be accepted, to be down socially, to have something that brings you into a circle of people, so you can corral around this bullshit.
Yeah, because as soon as you hear your child say, well, it's not that. When you hear them say it's not that bad, you better take them away for 2 weeks and deprogram them.
Yeah.
Because that's where it starts. Remember our generation?
I remember when they were pushing. You make an interesting point, Brother Art. I remember when they were pushing, not that long ago, they were pushing these high frequency ringtones on phones. Mm-hmm. And it was a frequency, like you spoke about, a frequency that only, young folks could hear. And when they were doing that, I was saying to myself, damn, if only young folks can hear this frequency, can't they broadcast messages and words and music and all this shit at that frequency and have these young folks hearing things that the rest of us cannot hear?
Yep.
You know, so it's actually a very, very dangerous it's a dangerous thing.
Yep.
If they're still doing it, which I'm sure they are.
It used to be rock music.
So we have to we have to be cognizant
you
of it.
talking about, bro? Because
they're hurts. They're hurts. It's always hurts.
Give me an example. Give me an example, real quick, bro. Prophet,
okay.
It's strange.
Well, we can't hear it. Because I know my daughter, when my daughter was 13, she had it on her phone because I would see her, you know, answer her phone, right? I would see her answer her phone, but I never heard it ring. And I thought maybe she had it on vibrate or silent. So, of course, I grabbed that motherfucker and looked at it. And it rang while I was holding it, but I couldn't hear it. And it wasn't on silent. It was turned all the way up, but she could hear it. I couldn't. I mean, to me, it sounded like straight silence. I made her take that shit off her phone. I made her take it off. I said, I want this shit out of here. You know, because I didn't like the way it felt. If you can hear something that I can't hear, that means someone can give you a message right in front of me, and I don't even know they're giving you that message. So I made her take it off her phone because my daughter had it on her phone when she was like 13, 14. And, you know, I would see her answer her phone, but I wouldn't hear it ring. So I grabbed that motherfucker after seeing that about 3 times. I said, let me see this motherfucker. And I
put it in your chat. I put it in your chat and the link in the chat for the app for frequencies. So if anybody got an Android, just download that. Remember 16,000 between 17,000, and to push that button around a teenager and just see what happens. I rest my case.
Yeah.
You're gonna be.
I'm familiar with it. My daughter had it on her phone. She had it on her phone.
That's some zombie type of crazy shit to me.
Yeah.
I never heard of no shit like that.
It's sound science. You know, that's what that
is. If you're over like 17, 18, you can't hear it. You can't hear it. You can't hear it. Only young folks can hear it.
That's why you always hear about teenagers going crazy because of the music.
Yo,
it's not the music, it's what they put in it.
That's just like dogs. That's like
dog
frequency for a dog whistle, which is subliminal. And quite frankly, they actually kind of I remember with the FCC, they were trying to they were banning subliminal advertising because they saw how powerful that was. So if they're doing subliminal signals that you can hear, that only a baby can hear as opposed to an adult, that shit is crazy, man.
Words are repeated.
I could not hear that shit. I could not hear it. I thought the phone was on silent. I thought it was on silent. And it was ringing. I thought, because I didn't hear it vibrate. I didn't hear any of that shit. I thought she had it on silent. I turned that motherfucker all the way up, and that motherfucker was ringing. I was like, I want this shit off this phone right fucking now.
I didn't know
out of here.
Because I bought my grandson. I bought him an iPhone because we do a lot of video. A lot of face to face. Talking a lot, and I'm not aware of that, so that's something that I'm going to have to examine more because these kids, I don't care how they're young, but they are whizzes with this stuff.
Yeah, and this was years ago, man. This was like
another thing. Remember our generation? See, they tried this gay stuff in our generation because remember you had what's his name? Paul Lynde did a lot of cartoon voices, and that dude was gay as a jaybird. That's Uncle Arthur from Bewitched.
You're right. I remember back in the early 90s, they first, they started out with girls kissing. That was the first, and it was sexy at first, like really, really back in the day. That's what they first started with. It was.
Well, I'm talking about way back in the 60s and the 70s, though. You had Sigmund and the Free Sea Monster. That Rip Taylor was gay. You had. You had all these gay things back when we were little, but we just thought it was fun. We weren't even paying attention. You know, we had the Great Gazoo. That dude was gay. You know, all these dudes, we were just looking at it. We wasn't even paying it no mind.
Three's
Now they
Company,
stepped
where
it up
he's
a
supposed to
level.
be in Three's Company, he's supposed to be a gay guy, right?
Yeah, Three's Company. There you go. Three's Company.
Can I ask a question? What was that frequency you need? Because I was playing with that app. It seemed like it makes
It's
your head hurt.
1600 to 1700. That's what the teenagers hear, but you wouldn't hear it.
Yeah, you wouldn't hear it.
1600 or 16,000? Are you sure?
I'm sorry, 16,000. 16,000 to 17,000. I'm sorry.
You cannot hear it, man. Trust me.
I'm not gonna lie. It seemed like my head started bothering me. Do you think that it could?
Yeah, because when you hit that, I'm telling you, like, if you're a teenager just doing whatever, you put that sound, they're gonna look around like, what the fuck's going on? It's like it's real loud in their ear.
With the kids in the room. I'm gonna try it tomorrow. I'm gonna wait till all the kids in the room, and I'm just gonna play it in the room and see.
Yeah, I think it's a pinching noise for them.
Yeah, because I will admit, when I turned it up there, it felt like I just felt kind of like dizzy almost when I was playing around with it in certain areas. Make you kind of dizzy or some shit.
But it could be used as healing too.
Something was off, like your equilibrium was off or something.
Yeah, because what happens?
Can you play it? Right? Can you play it? I can hear it.
Here, I'm gonna see.
See, this is what happens. Don't y'all understand what's happening in this world? This is what happened when Negroes spend most of their time talking about stuff that's not really important. This is the shit that they're doing to us, folks. Transhumanism, okay, microchipping, brother. I talk about this type of shit. They're playing around with high frequencies. You got the 5K, the 5Gs getting ready to come out. They're gonna hit you with that shit too.
Yeah,
come on now, we gotta wake up.
I need to buy me some copper for that one.
Well, everybody already know about the HARP system. They've been, in other countries.
I've known about that HARP system for so long. That frequency up there, messing around with the environment and shit. You damn right. This is the type of stuff that's going on that black folks we so busy talking about the dumb shit that we don't realize what's happening around us in our damn environment. They're fucking with our kids. They're fucking with us, man. This 5Gs is no joke that's about to be dropped on our asses.
They're fucking with our minds.
I gotta invest in. I'm probably invest $100 in some copper because the copper is supposed to intercept some of that frequency.
Everybody in the neighborhood gonna think you crazy, Art. They're gonna be like, "What's this nigga doing with all this copper?"
Yeah, man. Put it in my pockets. I gotta make a watch out of it.
I like a copper helmet and shit.
Hell yeah! I might give me some copper filling
type shit. Like
hey, brothers, this
copper helmet,
copper crown in my teeth.
Hey, look,
look at here, look at here.
Yeah, I gotta roll, man. I'm gonna have to get off out of here. But it's good chopping it up with the family, man.
Peace,
good
brother Jay Sean, man. Hit me up, man.
Take care, brother. Hit me up too.
Okay, Jay Sean, I'll hit you up, brother.
All right,
y'all be good, man. I gotta get this paper.
Peace.
All right, get that paper, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man.
Yeah, I'm about to shut it down too because I got to get my black ass up early tomorrow.
I got
to get in the bed too.
Any last words before you brothers want to peel out? Anybody got any last words they want to kick off with before we peel out?
Great conversation, brothers. Man, we on it. I think every day, as long as we're getting a little bit better, we'll get a little bit closer. So I think that we have to just keep the dialogue going, but at the same time, be putting in a little work every day in the streets if you can, just a little bit, whatever you can do. That's I'll just leave it at that. Brothers, love y'all. Peace to all y'all, man. All right, y'all have a great night. X, man, you the man once again.
Oh, absolutely.
Frat. All right, Frat. 06 to you, brother. 06.
Thanks for coming.
Turn my mouth.
You have been noticeably absent the last few weeks, man. And you wanted to use your suspects, so your absence is noticed.
Well, I'm gonna make sure I spend definitely more time here because this is these type of channels. This is where it's at. All right, it is what it is,
brother. And I gotta hit you up anyway because I got a new phone because my other phone fucked up, Nagone. So I'm gonna text you with I'm gonna text you with my new number tomorrow.
Please do, and I'll call you as soon as I get it. All right.
Peace.
All right, Art.
Yes, sir.
All right, boa noite, amigo. Boa noite.
Boa noite. Boa noite.
Nos falamos. Ciao, ciao.
Sí, boa noite.
All right, ciao, everybody. Peace.
Ciao, brother.
Peace. Anybody else? Any last words before we peel out of here?
Mr. X, hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely, man.
The last thing I'm gonna say is, hey, everybody stay focused. No excuses. Don't play victim. Take care.
Peace, brother War.
And I guess yeah, so probably this weekend I'll be sending you something so you can do some kind of premiere or whatever.
Okay, sounds
I
like a
think you're gonna
plan,
have some
brother.
fun because
I'm ready, man.
I gotta see you the script. We gotta go over the script
Okay.
and everything, and then I have to decide what kind of sound effects. So it's gonna be something a little short but
Okay.
meaningful.
Yeah, we
And
gotta give him a little teaser, man. We gotta give him a little teaser. Don't gotta be long, like a minute or two, short shit. Just to get
yeah,
get their mouth water, just get their mouth watering before the meal. That's all.
yeah, let them know it's real.
Oh yeah.
And
Uh-oh.
and just have to let everybody know that listening is knowledge is power. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be intimidated because we all have it. So just take that knowledge and do something with it, and don't be mad because somebody knows something that you don't know. Because if they know something that you don't know, just take something from that so you can know something too.
That's it. That's all it is. That is
And
all
I
it is.
and I'm out, my brother. So
All right, brother
we
Art.
gonna be in touch this
I
weekend.
guess I'll hear from you in a few days or so, brother.
Yes, sir.
You got my
Yes,
info.
sir.
Hit me up. Peace,
All
my
right,
brother.
my brother. Peace.
Well, I'm just going to say this before I peel out. I want to thank everybody for coming through tonight, man. A late one, man. We started late. We had some audio problems earlier, but it all worked out. I'm going to say this. This is going to be my last words for the night. Far as being politically correct, I feel like that is just a tool to control our actions, control our speech, and to ultimately control our thoughts. When people want black men to be politically correct, what they really want black men to do is just shut the hell up and take whatever this society throws at us. I call bullshit on that. I'm not telling you to go out there and blatantly disrespect people. I'm not telling you to blatantly go out there and say things that are overly offensive to people. But what I am telling you is that political correctness is not for you, black man. It's not. It's not. If you follow political correctness, what you are following is a system designed to keep you silent. Not just keep you silent, but keep you blind. Not just keep you blind, but keep you deaf. Not just keep you deaf, keep you mute. Not just here and here, but also they want to mute you here. Because it's easy to lead a person who has no sight, no sound, and no voice. And that's what they want with political correctness. It's not about sparing people's feelings. It's not about offending people's lifestyles. It's not about any of that. It's about keeping you from expressing yourself. It's about keeping you from speaking your mind and being a free thinker. That's what political correctness is about, especially for black men. I'm just saying. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, man. Good show tonight. Heavy panel tonight, man. I mean, a lot of brothers up in here tonight. Brothers that I didn't even expect to come through tonight came through. I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank my mods always doing what they got to do. And I also want to thank you for showing up tonight, watching us, spending some time with us. It's always appreciated because I appreciate you. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to get on down there to Facebook. That's Prophet of Thought, one word series. Second word, Prophet of Thought series on Facebook. That's our main page. It's a community page. Get on up in there, like the page, share the page, follow the page. There's always some good stuff going on down there. You can catch up with me down there. You can actually leave me a message. I'm guaranteed to get back to you within 24 and 168 hours. Also, you can always find out what's going on the TPOT YouTube page as well. And while you're there, get on down there to the TPOT bandwagon page. Now, that's a personal page, you can actually leave that page a friend's request. I'll make sure it gets confirmed quick. And also, because y'all know we got a few Facebook pages, get on down there to the Proper Thought Series fan group page. That's the Proper Thought Series fan group page on Facebook. Go ahead, request to be a member. You guaranteed to get accepted. If you don't get accepted, just drop old X a line. I'll make sure you get up in there. Go down there, request to be a member. There's always some good stuff going on down there. It's a fan page, so there's a whole bunch of people down there posting all kinds of shit. So you ain't just got to listen to X talk all the time. There's other people down there running their mouths too. Also, follow us on WhatsApp and Instagram. That's Prophet of Thought. Leave out the series on Instagram. And here we go again. Here we go again. I want you to get your butts down to Twitter, because the handle is at TPOT Media on Twitter. That's at TPOT Media on Twitter. Get your butts down there. Follow us on Twitter, because if you don't, I will haunt you in your dreams till next winter. Once again, I want to thank everybody, man, for coming out tonight, man. And I want to thank my distinguished panel, my man, brother Art, my brother Jay Shine, brother Judge, brother Nagone, brother War Secrets, my man, Why You Mad, brother Info Man, and my boy Cory Haywood for coming through tonight. Live stream, a lot of brothers on here dropped some good gems. So if you just came into the stream late, you might want to go ahead and rewind it back. Okay. Well, actually, it would be going this way, I think, but you want to get on up there and rewind it back. A lot of good nuggets got dropped tonight. You want to kind of catch them. You better go ahead and watch the whole tape. Make sure you have your black behinds here next week. Same time, same station, right here on DXL, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another stream where brothers just come up here and just drop nuggets like crazy. It's like they falling out the roof of a gold mine or something. But make sure you have your black behinds here every Wednesday and Thursday night. Hours of Power on Wednesday and DXL on Thursday nights right here on the TPOT YouTube page. You know. So with that, I will leave you with 3 words. Like I always do, open your minds. And we are out of here, y'all.
Dark exodus.
Peace, folks.
Think about this. Dark exodus.
Only from Team